Yeah. Shake it, but keep pointing out all the lies. Putting the scripture right in your eyes. The Bible guy, he reads Hebrew and Greek and shows you that your book's not unique. The Bible guy, he turns through the pages until every Christian rages. The Bible guy, watch one time and you're hooked. Now let's watch why the Christians get cooked. The Bible guy.
Howdy, folks. Bible Guy here, coming at you live from Northeast Texas. How we all doing today? Everyone, make sure you tap that screen. Share the live with those you love, with those you hate, with your friends, and with your enemies. Let's get the word out there so we can have some interesting conversations about the Bible. It is Sunday, July the 5th. How was everyone's 4th of July? I did the same thing that I always do every 4th of July, and that is, you're glitching to me. Does anyone else have a problem on the screen with the Bible Guy? Let's see if Ashlyn comes up without getting the 9 screen glitch.
Oh, I'm on a 9 panel again. I gotta come back.
Yeah. God damn, every time. Word up, G. What's up, Dippler? A tiny glitch. Well, here, maybe if I turn this off, it'll chill out a little bit. One second.
It is fixed.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I don't think you could hear me because you were coming up and talking while I was talking about it. I said, let's see if she'll get up here without the 9 panel glitch. And then immediately, like, oh God, I got 9 panels.
I didn't hear that, no.
Someone said Roman Catholicism forever for all. Hi, y'all. Ew, gross. Let's not push out the pedophile propaganda machine. Let's not do that. But yeah, I do the same thing every 4th of July, everyone, and I watch Disney's American Legends, and that's exactly what I did yesterday. Also played Baldur's Gate.
It was my first time.
I gave Ashlyn her first time yesterday. That's right, y'all.
Dalton
quote
popped
me
my
on that.
cherry.
Oh no! I was trying to be less direct. You went right for it. Lovely. But anyways, no beating the allegations at this point. Just fuck it at this point. Pun intended. Everyone, make sure you're tapping that screen. Tap that screen like Jonathan tapped David, and tap that screen like the Romans tapped them nails into Jesus. Ricky says you didn't see any fireworks. I did see some fireworks on Ashlyn's phone. I watched them on Ashlyn's phone.
Where I live, well, actually, it's not really where I live. It's where I work. Where I live, work. It's not my apartment, but like right across the street from me, almost down the road, there was like this giant firework display because of where I am. Where I am is like really close to an area that's big, but it's like not super compact, so there's like no buildings in front of me.
I flew my Confederate flag, blasted war movies, and blew off firecrackers. Well, that's all I needed to hear because gross. Here, watch this. Wait a minute. How do I?
Also, hi Jen. I haven't seen you in a while. I know you've been live, but I just haven't been live late. We have a guest, by the way.
Wings of Clay. I'm gonna ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get into the conversation. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, sir.
Question number 2, what pronouns do you go by?
He, his.
And question number 3, are you a Christian?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm Dalton, the Bible Guy. This is Ashlyn. Why should I be a Christian?
Well, I mean, it's kind of tricky. I'd say it's because it's true, but you can't really prove that.
You can't.
But I would say you should be a Christian even if it's not true because it provides sort of hold on 1 second.
Yeah, but just to let you know, I'm only interested
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Just so you know, I'm only interested in becoming Christian if it's true. No other reason will suffice for me personally.
Well, because it's true, I wouldn't say that it's I mean, I would say that it's true, but I wouldn't say that I can prove that it's true.
And how
But
do you
I'd
know?
say
Then
every
how do you?
other
Wait. You
philosophy.
just made the claim that it's true, but you're not able to demonstrate that it's true. How do you know it's true if you can't
Well,
even
no,
show it?
I mean, I don't know if I said that, but what
You
I
did.
mean is that I believe that it's true.
Okay, but why? If you can't show that it's true, why do you believe it to be true?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of reasons. Are we talking about like historical reasons or like essence of reality reasons?
I don't know what that last one would mean, but like anything
Well, it's
that
it's
could
more
raise,
philosophical. It's like, could a world exist without a God, sort of thing.
I don't see any reason why I couldn't.
Well, yeah. I mean, is that the one that you want to go down,
I mean, if that's the one
or
you want,
like
it's
historicity,
it's
or
it's down to you. Whatever you think is the best reason, that is about Christianity being true, that would lead me to become a Christian.
well, like I can understand like if you're in like an atheist and you don't believe anything is true,
I believe
but
things are
if you're
true.
sort of
Wait,
dabbling,
I believe that there are things that are true.
I no, well, that gets into another rabbit hole. But like opposed to any religion at all, like you think that which religion do you think is the most convincing?
Satanism, probably.
Well, Satanism it's not a religion.
According to the IRS, it is.
The IRS I can't say that. Yeah, I don't care about them. But like
I do.
Satanism isn't a religion.
It
So
is.
what you're going for is more so like no, literally the Satanists tell you that it's not a religion.
They will tell.
Um,
I've really, because I've had Satanists tell me that it is a religion.
It also depends on
okay,
which
define religion.
there are two branches of Satanism, by the way.
Yeah, which
Well, there's
were
the Satanism that
yeah.
believes in Satan, and there's
Well,
the Satanism that doesn't.
oh yeah, I'm talking about. Well, even amongst the Satanists that don't, there are two different like organizations. Main organizations. You are aware of this, right?
The most popular one is the one that doesn't believe in Satan.
No. There are two satanic organizations.
Yeah.
Neither of them believe in Satan. You are aware of this, right?
So you all had your own first like split off into not
You
you all, but they had
no,
their
they're just
first like
there's no split off. They're just two completely different organizations.
and neither of them believe in Satan.
Correct. There's the Church of Satan, headed out in California, and then there's the Satanic Temple, which is headed out in Salem, Massachusetts.
So if they don't have like a supernatural deity, then how are they a religion?
You don't have to have a. It's a sufficient requirement. It's not a necessary requirement of
Well,
religion.
what's the definition of a religion then?
Would you like Webster?
I'd like whatever you like.
Let's see.
I'll have what he's having.
When we
It's
played,
just a complex, culturally diverse system of beliefs, behaviors, and worldviews.
Well, then democracy's
It
a religion.
let's see.
it typically connects humanity to spiritual, transcendental, or supernatural elements. It often includes organized practices, moral ethics, sacred texts, and rituals that help individuals find purpose and navigate existence.
So is like Freemasonry a religion? Because like there are people in my church that are Freemasons, so they have two religions.
It has religious like elements to it. But this
What makes a religion?
but this whole thing is about Satanism is a complete tangent to the conversation. I couldn't care less. And why if you don't want to count Satanism, that's fine. Then no, there's no religion that I find all that convincing.
Why not?
Because I've yet to be presented with religion that is convincing. Therefore, I don't have any belief in any religion that is convincing.
Well, then you could be like, what are they called? Those people who don't like
Atheists.
believe in anything? Yeah, no, not an
we
atheist,
we
but
believe
an
atheists
agnostic.
believe in. I'm an agnostic atheist. Those aren't
Okay, well,
those
so
are
you're
not
an agnostic.
an agnostic atheist. Those aren't mutually exclusive
What's the
propositions.
differentiator between agnosticism and
Well,
atheism?
you can be an agnostic theist or an agnostic atheist. Most people think of agnosticism as some sort of middle ground between theism and atheism, but that's not true. Everyone either actively does
Right.
believe in a god or they lack a belief in a god. And
Hmm.
I lack a belief in a god. That's what makes me an atheist. But also at the same time, I don't make the claim that I know for a fact that there are no gods. So I'm an agnostic atheist.
So you're an agnostic.
Agnostic atheist.
What's an agnostic?
Did I not just tell you?
But by the way, even like Salafists believe that
So,
their
so
own mind exists. So like, I don't know of a single like belief system that doesn't believe in anything because that would be contradictory to its own existence.
Here,
that'll be atheism.
I'll say it
And
one more
that's
time.
exactly my own criticism.
No, Wing of Clay.
It's self-refuting.
Yeah.
No, so you making the claim that people don't believe in anything is a self-refuting thing because then they would have to believe in the fact that they don't believe in anything.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say it
And-
one more.
and- and they do.
I'll say it one more time for you.
They
and
make it
hopefully
their religion,
I'll
and
say
then they
it.
call
I'll
it
say it.
atheism.
I'll say no. Atheism's not a religion. Now I'll say it one more time for you, and hopefully you'll get it this time, and only one more time, and I won't repeat myself. Agnosticism and atheism are not mutually exclusive propositions, as you can be an agnostic atheist or an agnostic theist, because agnosticism is not some mythical middle ground between atheism and theism. Everyone either actively holds to a belief in a god or they don't actively hold to a belief in God. Therefore, everyone is either a theist or an atheist, and there's no middle ground. And I'm called an agnostic theist because while I don't believe in a god,
What? Wait. Pause. Can we pause real quick? So there's no middle ground
no, there's not.
between theist and atheist?
Yeah, because it's a true dichotomy. Everyone actively holds a belief in a god or they don't hold a belief.
So then there's no agnostics. They don't exist.
Wow, you're not listening. You're just demonstrating to the class that
What?
you're not
What?
capable of listening.
What?
Wings of Clay. It would be less embarrassing.
Okay,
It would be less embarrassing on your part.
So
If you actually-
agnosticism, it
Wings of
has
Clay.
to exist
Wings of Clay.
within.
It would be less embarrassing on your part if you actually listened to what was being said to you. Because I just explained it to you, and then you just went on rambling as if you didn't hear a word I said, which is embarrassing. So don't do that. You can
Either
be there's
either
here,
there
let me
either
help you.
atheism.
Let me help you understand it like this. There are two groups of people. There are theists
Mhm.
and there are atheists. And within these two groups,
Okay.
there are two subcategories for each group. You can be an agnostic theist or a Gnostic theist. An agnostic atheist or
So
a
there is a
Gnostic
middle
atheist. No. Okay, don't get mad. Don't get mad. People can't help how stupid.
Got 'em.
Some people cannot help how stupid they are.
Got him.
I said the only thing you didn't get anything, Wings of Clay. You've made yourself look like an idiot. And I have to remind myself, because I'm trying to be better, that some people cannot help how stupid they are. And maybe that includes you. Or by your statement of Gotham, maybe you're not here to have an honest conversation. You're just here to try to get a rise out of me. Is that what's happening?
Well, no, we're talking about a.
Are you here to have an honest conversation, or are you here to just try to get a rise out of me? Which one is it?
Can you tell your mod to stop muting me?
Not my mod. That's me. Now, are you here to have an honest conversation, or are
What?
you just here to get a rise out of me? Which one is it?
I don't think you're muting me. I think it's someone else.
I'm not muting you.
I am. Watch this.
Okay.
Watch this.
I
Mute. Oh. How did I predict that before it happened? Watch this again. Mute.
Because I've been muting.
Anyways, you're not here to have an honest conversation, so I don't want to have a talk with you. That's as simple as that. And it was me muting you. I wouldn't make the claim that I was muting you if someone else was muting you. But I'm more than happy to tell you, yeah, it was me. Velvet Worm says, I was gloomy, but this is making me laugh. Haha. Yeah, it is funny watching them attempt to and fail really hard to put on their thinking caps. Anyways, he's not serious at all.
I think I'm the only mod in here too right now.
Yeah.
It would only be me.
The Binkle is the true word of God. Tell Cersei it was me. If that's a reference to something, I don't understand it. Matthew Davids was on the Oh yeah, I watched. It was beautiful watching him get his ass handed to him. Bronte, do not start spamming.
Oh, I already gave them a spam warning, so they're getting muted.
Yeah. Well, there you go, Bronte. You spam, you get muted. Those are the rules. Happy day after America's worst birthday ever. Yes, yesterday was America's worst birthday. I saw a photograph. It was chilling of this black woman sitting on a train surrounded by white supremacists in their costumes and stuff like that. It was like, it is a terrible thing, the times that we are living in. Yeah, anyways, everyone, fuck our country right now. Absolutely, Kimchi. Our country is absolutely fucked. Hopefully it can get better, but I don't see it getting better anytime soon. That picture was deeply disturbing. It was, yeah. 100%. Everyone.
Well, maybe on the day that maybe it'll get a little bit better on the day that it happens.
On the day that, yeah, I think we know what it is. Yeah, it would be. Oh my gosh, I will celebrate. I will dance on that day. I will be like David, and I will dance for joy at that happening. By the way, everyone, speaking of David, yesterday, I what did I do? I recorded an episode, my first ever episode of Bible Guy Reacts, movie reaction, and I reacted to the David movie. Now I have to edit it, which is going to be one hell of a task. But as soon as it does get edited, it will go on the YouTubes, so you guys can watch me watch David, and you can get my honest opinion on David, whether or not it's a good movie or if it's just Christian dog shit. But you know, I'm not going to give any hints until then. All right. Acacian 17 Nightmare. Acacian, are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah, I'm 28.
And what pronouns do you go by?
I mean, my name's Noah.
No, your pronoun, not your name.
Are they required for me to be in here?
Yes.
So I have to agree with you?
You have to use English? Yes.
You're saying, why should I be a Christian? I came to talk about that topic.
We'll get to that, but everyone has to answer the first 3 questions, and no one gets a pass. So yes, you have to.
Call me they, them.
They, them. Okay, there you go. And are you a Christian?
Yeah.
All right. Why should I be a Christian?
Because when you follow Jesus and when you have a true spiritual transformation in life, it changes your life, and it's going to seem very scary, and it's going to seem like a hill you can't climb. But when you do, and you go through the hard times, you come out on the better side.
Okay, so when I became an atheist, my life changed, and it was very scary, and it was quite the climb, and I didn't know whether or not I could do it, but I was able to do it. So now what?
Do you not think your life is meaningful or special?
Yeah, my life does have meaning. I give my own life meaning.
And how did you come to the conclusion that God isn't real?
No one gave me a good reason to think that he does exist. So, you know, I had to head out, you know?
So you're someone who looks at like the mountains and the oceans and the stars and all this, and you don't see God in any of that?
No, I just see nature. And it's beautiful on its own. As the old saying goes, you know, you don't need to believe that there are fairies at the bottom of the garden in order to think that the garden is beautiful. So, like, I think nature's beautiful, but I don't need magic or God in order to make it beautiful.
If I asked you, what is the greatest memory you've had being alive? What is your favorite moment that is true to your heart?
I don't know if I can pick a favorite. I've had lots of orgasms that were quite lovely.
You can't think of one time you had a experience where you really just truly appreciated life and you were thankful maybe that person was in your life?
Yeah, been tons of those events. So like, I can't just pick one. There's no top
Name
favorite.
name a good one.
Just name a good one.
Yeah, name one that truly changed
yeah.
your life. And
Changed my has to change my life now.
yeah,
Sure. 4 years ago, met a lovely young lady. She came to my apartment. We had sex. It was beautiful. I did new things that I've never done before. And ever since then, I've been really into pegging. Changed my life forever. Now what?
okay. It sounds like did you have a rough childhood?
Yeah, but who doesn't? You know? But that's irregardless. If I would have had a nice childhood, I'd still be an atheist. Lots of people have nice childhoods and still become atheists. Fun fact.
That's fair. I've been an atheist myself too.
So, at what point in
What
this
does this
conversation?
have to do with
Yeah.
anything?
At what point in this conversation do we get to the part where you give me a reason to believe in God and not just like 21 questions about the Bible guy's life?
I'm just to be clear, you don't have any background or education in maybe psychology that would you could say that for some reason childhood trauma leads people to atheism, or a paper or anything, because that feels like a really broad claim that you just pulled out of your ass.
Are you done?
Are you ready to start? Occasion?
Yeah.
Ashlyn provided a really good point. And you're like, are you done? Is a really low tier effort in trying to avoid what was said. Oh, wasn't done. Was a really low tier effort in trying to avoid what she said. Like the fact that you don't have any evidence that bad childhood equals to atheism, especially when we have lots of people who had good childhoods that lead to atheism. And then you just tried to, brush that off your shoulder as if it wasn't said to you. You're not listening, as Eddie just said in the comment section. But we can all see right through it. So, can you actually get to the part where you actually give us positive evidence for God's existence?
Yeah, you're a grown man saying you're
Yes.
getting pegged in the ass, and you wonder why I'm up
love
here,
it.
so you should be Christian.
Love it. I love getting pegged. It's so
Do you
much fun.
actually? Do you really? Do you really?
As a grown-ass man, biologically speaking, as a male, my G-spot is right up in my keister, dude, and it feels fantastic.
Over having a wife and children, you want to get banged in your ass?
You can have both. My wife could just like put a strap
Which
on.
one do you want more?
Well, why do I have to pick between the two? I can have a wife and children, and then
If
my
you
wife
had to
can,
pick one,
and then
though.
and that night my wife can put on a strap on and peg me.
If you had to pick one, what would you rather
Nah,
pick? Wife
nah,
and family?
nah.
or
What?
Nah, not picking
What kind
one.
of
Having a tough
what?
time?
Why do you? Why
Guys,
are you so curious about
about my
about
sex
his
life.
sexuality?
That's not what he truly wants. He truly doesn't want to get banged in his ass. He gave up on
wait,
life.
Why no, I do. I really want to get pegged. I really do.
You don't know Adulton then. I've been really good friends with him. I would say one of my best friends for the past couple of years. No, he likes that, but he also likes other things.
Yeah, like I literally have like right here in my hand a butt plug that I use almost every night. It's got a nice little setting on it where I can make it vibrate.
Truly satisfied.
in fact,
you truly
like-
satisfied.
I like that mutes him.
That's the sound of my satisfaction right there.
Are you truly happy in life?
Oh yeah, super happy. A lot happier than when I was a Christian.
If you had to pick between being on an island by yourself or being with a
What
bunch
the
of
fuck
people,
are
what
these
would you do?
questions?
Guys, I'm convinced that God exists now because this guest keeps asking stupid fucking questions.
I'd prefer you fight harder in life and follow Christianity and not be gay.
I think that you should. I think you should fight harder in life and stop trying to be so gay.
What is this Jordan
Wait, what-
Peterson bullshit that I'm hearing coming out your mouth? Guest is in the closet. The closet is made of glass, made of paper.
You're just
paper
gonna make
head.
any excuse not to resist sin and
What
temptation.
is wrong with being gay? There are plenty of gay Christians that exist, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like if you wrote 2 + 3 on a piece of paper. Well,
No, it's not.
We obviously all know the answer is 5, and you guys are putting like 37, and you have some people saying 37 is okay.
This is not analogous. This is not analogous whatsoever.
You're getting the answer wrong.
No, that's
It's not natural.
well, no, begging the question much.
What is this conversation?
You're presupposing that you got the right answer, but you've given me zero
Following
reasons.
Christ is the
You've given me 0 reasons, count 'em, 0 to think that you have the right answer. So instead of all this hoo-hawing about my sex life, which you seem to be a bit too interested in, why don't you give us a reason to think that God exists now?
I'm saying because if you resisted those sins and temptations, you'd be following the Lord and you'd live a better life than you do now.
As an ex-Christian, I can say I objectively am living a better life than I was a Christian, and I was resisting those temptations.
Well, you know, you do realize there's evidence that having like orgasms is good for your brain. It's a major stress reliever. I mean, not go overzealous and become addicted, but Dalton doesn't display any of those.
Wait a minute. Both Jordan on TikTok and Lickit826 on TikTok at the same time on YouTube said, pegging the question. I love you both for that.
I love it. Like, what are you talking about? People can enjoy their sex lives any way that they please as long as it doesn't harm anyone and it's consensual. Like, the people that come out here and use an ancient text with a book that condones slavery and puts women as property, and that's your reason why they can't enjoy having a little play up the butt, the fuck?
I think you guys are just gonna find out.
Oh no, it's hell. He's gonna threaten us with hell, guys. Santa Claus gonna leave snow or coal in your stocking too. Don't forget to leave your teeth under.
I promise it won't be funny soon.
Is that a threat?
No, a warning.
It's a warning. For what?
For the Lord's wrath.
Sorry, but your warning doesn't mean jack shit to me if your God's not real.
Love me or else, guys. That's a great way to live. That sounds like you're living your best.
Are you
like?
Open
Are you
to being wrong?
Oh
Yeah, of course
Just
I am.
Give me a reason to think I'm wrong.
not putting a proverbial weapon to my forehead and saying do this or else?
Yeah.
That's like not how you convince people.
Yeah, just so you know, Acacia, every time you or any other Christian brings up hell in the conversation as a way of
I
trying
didn't bring
to,
up hell.
You did. Yes,
No,
you
I
did.
didn't.
Yes,
Hell
you
did
brought
not
up.
come out of my mouth.
Yes, you don't have to say the word hell verbatim in order to imply it. We all know what you're talking about when you start threatening us about what's going to happen to us.
Called
So,
judgment
anyways,
day.
yeah, which ends up with me going where?
Well, it depends on you. That's why you should be a Christian.
No. If I'm not a Christian on Judgment Day, where do I go?
Hell.
There you go. Thank you. Now, every time you bring up hell in a conversation, you or any Christian, this is you conceding the argument.
Why should I be a Christian? So you don't go to hell.
Well, hell doesn't exist. Give me a reason to think hell exists.
That's your opinion.
Yeah,
you could be wrong, right?
Give me a reason to think that I'm wrong.
If you're a piece of shit scumbag down here, you go to a bad place because you weren't a good person.
Prove it.
It's pretty
Prove
easy.
it. Prove it.
You're not following the Lord. That's the whole point.
Wait. That is
but the
not
Lord
even
doesn't
true.
exist.
Dahmer would have went to heaven.
Yeah. Also, yeah, you can be a piece of shit.
Dahmer, as long.
Yeah, as long as you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, then you get to go to heaven.
Yes.
So you could be a piece of shit.
And you do the
still go to
Lord's
heaven.
works. You can't just think you have to obey God.
What happens if you live a life as a shit person, then on your deathbed you have a genuine conversion, you realize you did wrong, and then you repent of your sin, accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and then you kaputs in the next second. What happens to you?
Well, God knows your heart, and nobody's sliding over. You're not worthy.
And what? So wait, can you genuinely realize that you did wrong, accept Jesus Christ your Lord and Savior, and still go to hell?
I'm sorry, what was it?
Can you realize that you did wrong, genuinely accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and still go to hell?
I don't think so.
So then the person who was a shit person their whole life has a genuine conversion when they realize they did wrong, accepted Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, and then dies the next second, are going to heaven.
I hope so.
Then it doesn't. Being a shit person doesn't mean you're going to hell. Thank you.
So you still got time to come back to the Lord, is what you're saying. You're going to end up at Jesus.
No, you just admitted that Dahmer is in heaven.
Yeah, and Adolf Hitler's maybe in heaven too. Like, dude,
of course
none of this shit matters if your God doesn't exist and hell doesn't exist.
Did you just say, of course, Hitler's in heaven?
Duh.
All right. Yeah, you're blocked.
Yeah.
No, you didn't let me block him.
Oh, I can still block him. Here, I got him. Bye, piece of shit. Man. Of course, the Nazi is going to come up here and tell me that I'm a bad person and that I'm going to hell. He loves watching people go into fiery furnaces. God, just another victim of the Christian alt-right.
Well, like that's the thing is you come up here and preach about like morals and being good people, and then you turn around and you're like literally a Nazi. That's not going to convince anyone. In fact, goated, because now you just demonstrated why we all shouldn't be Christian.
Yeah,
you're doing more to help the atheist cause that doesn't exist, but Christians seem to think it does, than anyone else.
All of you Christians watching right now, I hope you just know that that's going to be your today, unless you come up and give us a better reason, your representative today for what it means to be a Christian is that Nazi son of a bitch. I hope you like that being your representative. I am now, for at least until someone else comes up and gives me another reason, I'm going to associate Christianity with Nazism. At the channel end with the 2 Connect bucks, what is actually best Christian themed film / show? Okay, so in my opinion, as someone who's watched a lot of Christian media in my time, the best as far as, and by best I mean what is the best cinematography, best acting, music, etc. Movie wise,
Dalton thinks Gramps Goes to College is the best.
No, not that. No. God. It's gonna be, for me, it's gonna be probably The Chosen, from Angel Studios, or The Prince of Egypt. Those are probably the best as far as like high quality Christian media. Although whether or not Prince of Egypt is technically Christian media is kind of contested, as it was just made by DreamWorks Studios, and it has a quote at the beginning from both the New Testament, Old Testament, and the Quran about Moses. So it seems to be more general than that. But if we're talking about specifically something that's produced by Christians for Christians, then I'm going to say that The Chosen is going to be like the best in media. A SpongeBob SquarePants the movie, someone said. Okay, let us read from the Book of Noses. Let me part the Red Sea. Anyways, let's see. Girls Gone Wild. Is that Christian media? Anything with Kevin Sorbo in it? To be clear, the only Christian film that I'm aware of that Christian Sorbo was in was God's Not Dead, and that movie was atrocious. And Hercules, I'm not sure if that's a Christian film.
I've just been watching Forrest Valkai in Reacteria and all the bad Christian movies. He does. They're so bad.
God's Not Dead, he's just sleeping. He took the 7th day off, and then he just never woke up. That's why the world's been in such a shit situation. Oh yeah, that just reminds me also, one day I'm going to get Peggy products that says things like, if there's no pegging in heaven, I don't want to go, etc. It'll come eventually, guys. So you don't have forgiveness without Jesus, so you're heading to hell, Bible guy. Look at that. We got another person in the comment section conceding the fact that they don't have a good argument. Every time you bring up hell as an argument for why I should be a Christian, you are conceding that you do not have any good reason for me to be a Christian. So you have to rely on the threat of eternal damnation.
Hey, just FYI, I said this before, but putting a proverbial weapon to someone's forehead and saying "believe or else," it's like antithetical to your like many Christians' worldview, where free will solves a lot of issue as well. Like it's not a good position to hold. It makes you look bad.
Mr. Nice Guy says, I'm trans. That's way better than any religion. I agree. Love me some trans people. I mean, if hell was real, that would be a good reason if it were real, but yet no one has given me a good reason to think that hell exists. Is there not consequences to this life? To this life after our life? Consequences after our life? Not as far as I can tell. If we don't have an afterlife, there's consequences
and not,
within
by
life.
the way, in just like as sometimes it is the case that people don't suffer like from justice, or I wouldn't say suffer, receive justice, would probably be a better way to phrase that. And they're not getting consequences for that action. That happens. It sucks. We want justice to reign true, but if you have to make up a magical being in the sky so that in your mind justice holds, it might speak more onto how you need to cope with reality and not how we're coping with the reality, because we cope just fine without it.
If you punch a guy, will he not want to hit you back? Yeah. But guess what? I have evidence that guys exist and that fists exist and that punching exists. I don't have evidence that hell exists. So a guy punching me would be a real, like a real, what's the word I'm looking for? Effect of the cause of me like doing something bad, but the consequence. But hell, if it doesn't exist, isn't a real consequence. Velvet Worm says, a trans girl made me the best Chipotle burrito I have ever had last week. Absolute queen. A trans woman once, you know, gave me the best Chipotle burrito. Metaphorically speaking.
Also, if you're in this live, make sure you're tapping the screen, sharing out the live, sending your daily heart meet if you can, and then reposting as well. That way we can get some conversations with some Christians that maybe aren't Nazis. That would be nice. Because I personally don't fucking like talking to Nazis. It is okay to punch Nazis, by the way.
Yes, Captain America approved. Speaking of 4th of July,
I have a pen that says punch Nazis. Actually,
I love that. Rosara is coming up. Rosara, I'm gonna ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get into the conversation as soon as you load in. Be like Cap, punch Nazis. Yeah, that's America's ass. Also, Al GG, I'm more moral than you are as a person. I guarantee it. As a Christian, you are far less moral than me. Oh, that's hurt. That person didn't load in, so oh well about that. Yeah, I'm Al GG. I'm more moral than you. But why don't you come on up and have the conversation instead of being a keyboard warrior? That'd be great. I hate debating people in the comment section. It's boring. Gehenna exists though. It's a nice park in Israel. Gehenna is a nice park in Israel today. The law passed away, so not according to Jesus, Cole. Morality is from evolution, empathy, reason, and humanity, not God. Correct. I was wondering by what you mean Christians aren't as moral. Yeah, Christians defend all kinds of really atrocious things like slavery and misogyny. Yeah, and I've had Christians come up here and tell me that it's okay to own another human being as property as long as God says so. Christians are not more moral. They're just more obedient, and obedience isn't the same thing as being moral. You're just a rabid dog on a leash. Heaven and earth is a second temple? No. It's not, Cole. At least that's not what Jesus intended. Why would I go up there? You're not agree with anything I say, and I don't agree with you. Well, that's kind of why you would come up. If this isn't like, I know you're probably used to like going up to Christian lives where you circle jerk each other and you just all agree with each other. But the purpose of a debate live is that we don't agree with each other and that we have a conversation, because maybe you might not be able to convince me, but maybe you have a good enough argument that might convince someone in the audience.
Oh, they don't all. Do you watch the ends of Mezzo's live where he just invites all the Christians up at once? They wind up fighting each other.
They fight each other? Of course they do.
It's so bad.
How can you believe you're more moral than me? Yeah, LGG, watch this. If God told you, let's say you went back in time, okay, and you were one of the soldiers under King Saul's army, and the prophet Samuel came to you and said, hey, God said you got to go into this town with all these Amalekites and kill them all. The men, the women, the children, and the infants. You doing it?
And the ox.
And the ox and the donkeys and all that.
Yeah.
But are you killing them Amalekite babies if God says so?
because the majority Christian response when they get that is, well, and then they give a justification to why it is okay that they can just completely G-side this group of people.
You can just say genocide. It's all good.
I know. I'm just so used to saying. I went into another live and I said something and they got all mad at me and I'm like, I'm sorry. It's just you can say these things. It doesn't really restrict your live.
Yeah, it doesn't actually do anything.
I was like,
I love that TikTok myth that we all created that we can't say words like Holocaust, genocide, Adolf Hitler. Don't forget, because I got Christians who come up here and just say slurs at me and nothing ever happens. Don't kill and ask for forgiveness for disobedience. That's an option. They don't even think. That's right. One Christian said, God brought us into this world so he can take us out. That's exactly what my parents said to me one time. Because God says so. Hello, Atheist Cat 420. Good to see you.
hey, Miss Cat.
Yeah, one of the OGs right there. Man, no representative for Christianity today coming up. Well, you couldn't when China owned it. TikTok. Oh, I don't think China ever owned it. Singapore, it was a Singaporean country.
No, China owned TikTok, but the guy was you're talking about the congressional hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was owned by the Chinese, but the servers and everything I think were controlled by Singapore.
That's okay. Here we are happy you're here with Ashland. Yay. They're all still hungover and in recovery. Oh, I mean, that's why they're not coming up to debate.
No, they're like awfully quiet on Sundays. This is actually a theme where Sundays they don't come up as much, which is weird. You would expect the opposite.
Hey, Bible guy, I've been reading up on the Shadim. What should I know about them? Depends what period of history, because don't forget that, religions are not static, they're dynamic, and that as time progresses, ideas about what a thing is changes. So angels, different understanding amongst the ancient Israelites as they do for like modern day Jewish people. Shadim, which are evil spirits, demons, different idea in ancient biblical Hebrew than there was in later Judaism. Later Judaism, Shadim are a classification of demon. In ancient Israelite culture, the Shadim were a classification of deity. Some are literally in church all day on Sunday. That is true. They're currently eating after church bunch and not tipping the waitress.
Oh, Velvet.
It's true.
I was a server. This is completely true.
Oh yeah, I was a server too. Utterly true. Wednesdays, we weren't open on Sundays, but Wednesdays after church, ain't nobody tipping. Do you believe the disciples were unalived for their beliefs? Some of the we have some records of some of the disciples' deaths. I don't think the majority of those stories are true, though. Those are from hundreds of years later. They're just a matter of tradition. The only ones that I could probably confirm that were killed, as opposed to dying a natural death, were Peter, Paul, and James. And when it comes to James's death, we're not told that he was killed for being a Christian. And then Peter and Paul probably were killed for being Christian, but we don't even know if they were allowed to recant or not. What would be your reason for disagreement on heaven and earth equal temple system? Because Jesus clearly taught in the New Testament after the resurrection that you're supposed to observe the law of Moses. Yeehaw! Thank you for the cowboy hat.
Poopman Jones just says Deutschland.
Deutschland. Love that.
That sounds German.
Deutschland. No, I don't like Deutschland. It would have to be something better. It's gonna have more vowels in it. Ashton. Oh wait, that's a name. That's just a name. Ashton.
Ashland. Yeah, that's just Ash. Yeah, it's so hard because it just kind of sounds like my name.
Troglodyte is word of the day. Oh yes, our last Christian guest was an absolute troglodyte. It's crazy that some of these Christians believe the Ark story and justify people's death during. Oh yeah, and then they make up a whole myth saying, "Well, no, Moses was preaching to all these people of repentance and giving them the opportunity to come on the ark. That's not in the Bible. No one on the earth was given an opportunity to get on Noah's ark, y'all. That's a myth that you were taught in your church.
Doubler says, let's watch Gramps Goes to College. Unfortunately, I think that we would have to ask for everyone's consent first because it's that bad.
It's that bad of a movie. Real question, why don't Mormons ever try to debate? They do. They do. It's just that no one's interested in debating Mormons because, like, no one gives a shit about their cult. Or the incest in the Bible. I bring it up to my Christian friends and they don't know what to say. Yeah, like the founder of the Israelite people, Abraham, fucked his sister. And their offspring became the Israelite people according to the Bible. It was taught because the law didn't pass and wouldn't for 40 years, though. Well, no, Jesus taught his disciples to teach all people to observe the law of Moses, and he didn't give a time frame. I am kind of fascinated by their beliefs, though. The Mormons, I mean, it's like crazy Christian sci-fi. Abraham would be in the mental hospital today or prison for hearing voices. I don't know. Do you necessarily get put into a institute just for hearing voices, or do you have to be like an actual harm to somebody?
Yeah, the terms are SI or HI, but you can be like institutionalized for but these kind of fall under the umbrella of like SI or HI, where inability to like take care of oneself. Generally, like you go through emergency psych first, and you need to present at least to be like Baker acted or held in involuntarily hold, which each state has their own laws regarding of that. It's just dependent on each state and what can be deemed. But yeah, there are plenty of people that live with schizophrenia or schizophrenic spectrum disorders, or just hear voices outside of this for short periods of times, like bereavement, or have some sort of like abnormal or atypical, psychology. It's not something that we institutionalize for on itself by itself.
Someone said Abraham also couldn't stop pimping out his sister wife out for some reason. That is true. Almost every opportunity that Abraham gets to like pimp out Sarah and use her to get money from other people, he did. It's crazy. Ex-Mormon here as well. Hey, well, Grumpy Butterfly, I'm so happy that you escaped the cult.
Yeah, Baker Act is Florida. I just use that as like a blanket term for people, because when they understand Baker Act, they'll like understand, because there's a ton of different names for involuntary psychiatric evaluation. Though they generally fall within that 72-hour mark. I just think that like when you say that and someone can look it up, I don't know the names of all of them off the top of my head. I just know that term.
Foxfire says, doesn't the average Christian claim to hear voices like God? No. The average Christian, if you hear the average Christian told you, God told me this, God told me that, what's really happening here is that, we all have like an inner voice, our subconscious voice or whatever that talks to us.
Internal monologue.
Our internal monologue. Christians just misidentify their internal monologue as being Yahweh. That's it. They don't actually hear, most Christians don't actually hear auditory voices. They have impressions, and they believe that these impressions are coming from Yahweh and that this is Yahweh's speech to them.
Yeah, although, like, of the hallucination types, because of our systems, our auditory system is the more likely to have hallucinations, and visual is just much less likely. It's I think part of the theory is dealing with the complexity of our visual system, and I believe the separation between it. It's a lot more difficult to have visual stuff. So you do hear auditory type stuff more often.
Okay, I'm about to do a restart on TikTok, everyone. So come on right back, and we'll get back to doing some more conversations. Let's see, in live, and also this is a message to all the wonderful people over on YouTube. Don't forget that shows like this are not possible without your help, without your contribution. If you would like to, please send in your super chats, or you can go over to the Bible Guy official on Cash App, and you can like donate. You know, I'm super grateful that I get to do this for a living. I wouldn't be able to get to do this with a living without people like you and your help. So I'm just letting you guys know that I'm super appreciative of that help. All right. Welcome to TikTok Live. Have fun interacting with your viewers in real time. Creators must be 18 years old or older to go live. Viewers must be 18 years old or older to be charged and send gifts. Remember to create a safe viewing experience. Oh, thank you for the cowboy hat. Experience by following our community guidelines. Okie dokie. Did it glitch?
It did for a second and then came back. It was so weird. I did make sure I closed out the app before I came back this time, though.
There you
Thank
go.
you, Poop Man.
Scientifically, what's older, water or the sun? Well, since our sun has probably only been around for like, what, 5 billion years, and the universe is 13.8 billion years, I wouldn't doubt that water, like the formation of like hydrogen and oxygen molecules together to form water, is probably much older than our local sun. We had someone up for a second, but then they disappeared. I don't know where they went to.
I don't know that there's probably not an answer to that.
Well, let's see.
And maybe we do, but like how, because well, think about it this way. The places that we have discovered water or ice are in our solar system, and our solar system exists because of our sun, basically. And unless I'm wrong on that, but as far as I'm aware, the planetary bodies formed because of the gravitational pull of the sun.
Have found strong evidence. Astronomers have found strong evidence that a significant fraction of the water in our solar system predates the sun itself. Ice formed in the cold molecular cloud that exists before the sun was born, survived the collapse into the solar nebula. So, looks like the answer is water.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess it would be water. But how do they know that? That's so strange.
They probably
That'd be fun to.
There's
Some smart people did something.
So Genesis 1, 2 through 3 was a lucky guess. No, Genesis 1, chapter 2, verses 3 is factually incorrect, as the water that exists in Genesis chapter 1 exists on the earth. It's the earth that's covered in water, and the earth did not exist before the sun. So that is, the Bible would be factually correct on this. Is this the Bible guy, or is it this Bill Nye? This is the Bible guy. Hi, Aaron.
We are not the science channel, unless like psychology, which is a science, but like I still only have an undergrad in that. So there's a ton of stuff. It's a broad field, so I don't even know. I would only credit myself for a fraction of the knowledge in that field, obviously.
Dalton, I'm trying to play KSP, but I suck at it. What do I do? Well, the first step would be to tell me what KSP stands for. That would be the first step. So, oh, and we have a super chat here from @TerryFall with the $5. Dalton, did you ever read about the Messianic Rooster? Your next assignment is to find G's. Your next assignment is to find G's for Jews. You mean Jews for Jesus? Yeah, is the story of the Messianic Rooster story is a story about as far as I've been told, fictional story about a rabbi who finds that Jesus is the Messiah. No, I've been incredibly busy, but I still have it open on my browser, so it's still up and open. It's not going anywhere until I read it. Allie, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, I'm 20, born in 2005.
And what pronouns do you go by?
She, her.
And are you a Christian?
Okay, so the reason I wanted to join is I was a Christian, but I'm kind of like questioning, I guess. So I just wanted to hear your like opinions.
Yeah, my opinion on what exactly, what is it that's you're questioning in your particular religion?
Mostly for me, it's a lot of like like mostly like patriarchal stuff that's hidden within the Bible and like how everything is just based on men.
Yes.
I'm also like a queer. I'm a lesbian, and as a lesbian, like it was really hard for me to like I don't know, like I still wanted a relationship with God and I wanted to like be involved, but I think I'm realizing more that God is like a community and like it's our relationship with everyone and it's not like I don't know, it's just like hard.
But then that's not the God of the Bible, right?
Right, well, okay. I was a Christian, like a Baptist, like Baptist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I still like
I'm from Texas. Dalton's from Texas. We're very familiar. I was a Baptist growing up, though I don't think we agreed. Come to find out when I'm older, I don't think we held the same because turns out we probably branched off from Quakers, which just there was different belief systems, I guess. But as far as that goes, when you describe God as community, we already have a word for community. Why do we like if you just insert God into things, then the word is meaningless. When we talk about God, we're talking about generally a mind that created the universe, just to some extent.
right. So with that, I'm sorry. With that, I meant like it's more about like a relationship and not like the actual like religion, if that makes sense. Like it's more about like people's personal like connection with God and not like what it is as like
I mean, at that point, why not just call yourself an atheist? Because since a God is a supernatural being that is worshipped, and what you're describing is not a supernatural being, you might as well just be an atheist.
I think
and have
they
the community.
are saying. I think they are saying that they're just saying that it's the God exists. That is supernatural. Just correct me if I'm wrong, Allie. But it is the individual that has that relationship. This is outside of religion, so you would be like a deist almost.
yeah, I don't really know. Like I said, I'm like kind of questioning, but like I grew up in church my whole life but like there's also just a lot of things with Christianity that like I don't know, yeah.
What? So you do believe in you think a supernatural being that created the universe?
Okay, so what I will say is that I believe there is something, and I think that like if God is real, I'm not entirely sure that like I would want to be giving my whole life for a guy who like did a bunch of horrible things. Like, you know what I mean?
Like you look around you, even outside of the Bible, you look around you and you see like, oh wow, rape happens, murder happens. If this being is all powerful or has this ability, like, are they worth my worship? Type of thing. You're sounding like
it's like in the Bible, David raped Bathsheba, right? And God killed that baby instead of like anything else. He made that choice to destroy that life instead of like doing something. And that's crazy to be a God who claims to be all loving and like every baby is formed naturally in the womb. You killed a baby inside of a person. That's like, and Christians will go and say like, oh, abortion is wrong, this, that. That's a scripture in the Bible that happens. Like, I don't know.
Well, do you think that here maybe we can lead it down this way? Do you think that contradictions can be true?
Absolutely, yes.
You think contradictions can be true?
Contradiction can be true. I just mean they exist. Like
P, like this, like I have a water bottle. It can and cannot be the water bottle at the same time.
No, it is the water bottle.
Yeah, so it cannot not be the water bottle. It either is or is it. P cannot be P and not P at the same time.
Right, yeah. I see what you're saying.
If there are contradictions about this this God in the Bible, do you think this God could exist?
That's like an interesting way to put that.
I mean, the Bible does have contradictions where the God literally says, "I don't." Or they say the God cannot change, and then the God literally says, or he changed his mind. So that would be a direct contradiction, and they're all over the Bible because the Bible is not a univocal text.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Like, if you were to imagine the kind of God that an ancient Near Eastern people would make up, it would look like Yahweh, wouldn't it? It would be a God that first and foremost is male presenting, so it uses masculine pronouns, speaks of itself as a father and as a man of war, etc. One that is very much in favor of the things that the Israelites were in favor of, so spreading their land, dominating over women, and also would be against the things that the ancient Israelites were against. So like same-sex relationships, for example, or Amalekites, Canaanites in general. So if we were to take a guess as to what it looks like, Yahweh is, it looks just like the kind of God you would imagine the ancient Israelites were to make up.
And for all the religions that exist, right? All of the deities within religions culturally reflect the individuals who seemingly discovered this or had the God talk to them or whatever it is, like geographically within those cultures, they are just representing the culture at hand.
Right. Like even with like Mormonism, for example, like they fully changed Jesus into a white guy, like because they claimed that God came to fucking Missouri. Like, yeah, I completely see what you're saying.
Yeah, there's actually a really great quote from this ancient philosopher Xenophanes. He said, if cows and horses had hands and could draw, cows would draw gods that looked like cows and horses would draw gods that look like horses. Because at the end of the day, it's not that, while the Bible says that man was made in the image of God, it's really the inverse, that God is made in the image of man, that the gods always reflect the culture of believers. And this is exactly what we'd expect from a fictional deity, which would explain why the God of the Bible is very patriarchal and very anti-woman, because the Israelites were patriarchal and anti-woman.
Wow, I think you just like unlocked a brain cell in my head, not gonna lie.
I love that.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna leave now, but thank you.
You have a wonderful day.
Yeah.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Very pleasant.
Everyone, give Allie a giant W in the comment section. We love deconstructing here in the Bible Guy channel.
Zechariah touched on one of my favorite verses, Deuteronomy 32, 8 and 9, when basically they're the council of gods when the Most High set upon them. So there was like 70 gods below. El and Ashura were at the top, and Yahweh was just a lower deity at this time. This is referenced. If you want to know more about that, I would recommend Francesca Stavrakopoulos' book, God and Anatomy. It's God, and Anatomy. And she talks about this in her book. But yeah, W. Alley.
We have some super chats here. From Matt John Klein with the $5. I just tuned in to hear Christian Schittler apologist opinion about your sex life, Dalton. I sense a bit of jealousy. I know, he's just jealous that I'm having a good time and that I'm sexually enjoying myself, and he was fucking angry that he doesn't have a good sex life, and he was they say misery loves company, and these abstinent Christians want you to join them in their misery. No, thank you. I enjoy my O's. And then at Terry Fall, again with the $2, says, I meant G's for Jesus and the great God Mota. Yeah, I looked it up. There's a website here. It says the G's for Jesus. We are schmooze and schmentiles that believe in the promised Meshuggah as five told in the Gungle. This is the ugliest website I've ever seen. But yeah,
Bro?
we have here Obey. Obey, are you? I have 3 preliminary questions for you, and then we'll get into the conversation. Question number 1: Are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Question number 2: What pronouns do you go by?
What? That's irrelevant, bro. What?
It is not irrelevant.
I'm a man.
Well, man is not a pronoun.
I think that implies what? Yo, let's get okay.
Man is a
Put that
noun,
away.
not a pronoun.
Yes, I know.
You have to answer these 3 questions if you want to get to talk to me. Everyone
He,
has.
I guess.
There you go. And are you a Christian?
Bro, what do you mean? Like,
and
you can
are
go by something else? Like, I can be a she?
Yes, you can. Now, are you a Christian?
I can be a she?
Are you a Christian?
No, I'm Muslim.
Okay, here's my next question. Because now you get a 4th question. Do they teach you how to read in Islam?
What do you mean?
What does it say above my head?
You're right, but I'm not debating for Christianity.
Yeah, but
And
what's
yes,
this,
in
what,
Islam,
what,
by the way,
what does it say above?
seeking knowledge is a must
no,
in Islam, by the way.
Prove to me that you can read. What does it say above my head?
Yes, but I'm debating an atheist, though.
I want you to read what it says above my head.
You're right. But
Out
that's
loud.
not what I'm
Out
but I'm
loud.
opening it. I'm not gonna read it, bro. I
Out
understand.
loud.
Okay, I think we can all see it, bro. You think
I'll just tell you the answer. The answer was, why should I be a Christian? Which implies that the person that I'm trying to talk to is a Christian.
Yeah, the thing on this channel, and I know a lot of religious people seem to fall short on this, at least within the Abrahamics. Actually, I will give Jewish people an exception to this. Just Christians and Muslim people. We don't talk about subjects we're not familiar with.
Now, if
We're
you
not
listen,
we're not educated.
I'm more than happy to take a giant steaming shit on the Quran, especially for its scientific contradictions and biblical contradictions. But like, if I have a sign that says above my head, "Why should I be a Christian?" The obvious implication is that I want to talk to Christians, and yet this brain dead individual just requested back up. You know what? Fuck it. Obey, I'm going to ask you another question. Who is Miriam?
bro, no, one sec.
Who is Miriam?
You just said you don't have
Who is
knowledge of the
Miriam?
Quran, and now you're
Who
saying
is-
you can
who is
disrespect
Miriam?
the Quran?
Yeah, I would disrespect the Quran. Who is Miriam?
Bro, you believe I can be a she? Are you
I don't give a shit. Who is
the
Miriam?
mother of Jesus?
Okay,
Maryam.
is there are
You
there
mean Maryam? No,
are
it's
there
Maryam, by the way.
okay, yeah, in Arabic it's Maryam. And are there
Yeah.
any other Maryams that I should be aware of from biblical history?
You mean mentioned in the Quran?
Yeah, just in biblical history. Is there any Miriam? Trust me, it's important.
No, because I know where you're gonna go to. You want to go to Imran,
Yeah, who's Imran?
according to the Quran.
No, it's just according to like holy text that existed before your religion ever existed.
No, because bro. Okay, first of all, bro, if we're
If
gonna
you're going
speak
to
about the Bible,
listen,
the
if you're going to avoid answering my questions, I will just tell the audience.
I'm not gonna avoid the question because what you're asking if there's another Miriam. I
Yeah.
told you.
Was there
If you're gonna
not
go to
another?
Imran.
Was there not another Miriam that was known by the Jewish people long before Muhammad was ever in his father's ball sack?
Okay, no. See now you're
Which
getting
is
disrespectful.
which,
I'm leaving. No,
which,
no, no.
which, by the way, is actually where sperm comes from. Not
I came
between
with
the
respect.
backbone
Hey,
and the rib.
obey,
disrespectful
obey. You don't
I
get to
speak-
come up here and be an asshole, okay?
Yeah.
Like that's not how this works. We have the mute button, we have the control. If you would like to run your own live, go for it. I know that you got all high and mighty and hot-headed because we said some things about your sacred text. Sorry, not sorry. But it is the case that your text says wrong things. If you would like to have a discussion about that, you were more than able to.
And now
But
that you
not
can't,
getting, yeah.
yeah, now that he can't interrupt me, I'm going to tell the audience what bullshittery your book just said. So everyone, here's a fun fact: in the Bible, there are 2 women that we need to talk about. These 2 women are one, Miriam, the sister of Moses, and also the sister.
Do you
want
want to pull it up?
Yeah.
You want to pull this up?
Uh, Yeah, here, let me pull it up. let's see. Miriam. Yeah, here we go. Exodus chapter 15, verse 20. Let me pull it up on the screen. So we have here Exodus chapter 15, verse 20. And Miriam, the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a timbrel in her hand, and all the women out after her with timbrels and with dances. Miriam is the name of the sister of Moses and the sister of Aaron. They were the dynamic trio of the Torah. Miriam, Aaron, and Moses. Now, here's a thing that most people don't know. Jesus' mother, we usually call her Mary. In Hebrew, however, Mary's actual name is Miriam. It's the same exact name as the name of Moses and Aaron's sister, Miriam. So in the Bible, there are two Miriams. Okay. Now, what happens is, one day as I was reading the Quran, specifically, let's see. Pull it up.
You have a friendly requesting up, Brian.
Oh yeah, here. There is a surah, a chapter of the Quran that is dedicated to Maryam, as she's called in Arabic, Maryam. So it's in Hebrew it's Miriam, in Arabic it's called Maryam. But there's a whole surah chapter in the Quran dedicated to Mary, the mother of Jesus, Maryam. And you want to know what it calls Mary, the mother of Jesus? The prophet calls her Yukta Maryam. Yukta Harun. Which means
don't even try to pronounce Arabic.
Yukta Harun, which means sister of Aaron.
I know that's not correct.
It is pronounced Yukta Harun.
That's not how the guttural sounds sound in Arabic.
Well, fuck Arabic. Anyways, Ya'ukta Harun means, sister of Aaron. The prophet refers to Miriam, Miriam, the mother of Jesus, as being the sister of Aaron. But Jesus' mother was not the sister of Aaron. That was a different Miriam from the Old Testament. So what probably happened was that Muhammad, peace be upon him, was one day in the marketplace in Mecca when he overheard Christians and Jews talking about a woman named Miriam. And he thought that these two women were one and the same. So he refers to the mother of Jesus as the sister of Aaron, not realizing that they are two different Miriams. So yeah, that's what Obey didn't want you to know. And that's what we have just revealed to you. Hi, Brian.
I just wanted to come in and drop some more Muhammad lore on you real fast, because this one's always fun. Muhammad is said to have been born 4 years after his father died, but he was sustained within his mother's womb as that drop of semen. So what Muslim apologists don't want you to know is that his mother was actually spreading it around after dad died.
Well, look at that. Muhammad and Jesus might have something in common.
But that's it.
Going out of wedlock.
I had something else, and I do not remember what it was going to be, so y'all have fun.
Velvet says, I thought he met his father. I don't know. It's all confusing.
Yeah.
But at Timothy, I see what you did there. With the $2, what time is the Bible burning? I'll bring s'mores. Well, listen, I'm not a Christian. I don't like burning books. So we're not going to be burning any Bibles, but we will be delving into their pages to show everyone the falsehoods found therein.
It's a fascinating text. Like, if it weren't for the Christian nationalist and the harm that Christianity does, it would just be an interesting text about generally for the at least the Old Testament and Bronze Age people group that was fairly well preserved throughout time. And then the New Testament gives us like Hellenistic Jewish understanding from like a small group during that time period as well. I mean, it's only accurate when thrown at close distances, but still.
Now, one time I used to have a mini fridge in my bedroom, and don't be Christian, be Catholic. Hey, dude, come on, in the comment section. As an ex-Catholic, that's not an accurate thing for you to say. Catholics are Christians.
This is a TikTok phenomenon because I grew up in Christianity and I grew up. So my stepmom was Catholic.
Are you saying that it's not going to say that Catholics are Christian? Because I can't believe I'm going to have to sit here and teach you.
Maybe they're of that branch that was just announced by the Pope again because they affirmed priest or whatever, and they have like Nazis as their top people. I don't know. I don't know that much about Catholicism. I just went there for a while. I never listened because by that age I was like checking out. I already didn't believe this.
My headphones, 1 second. All right.
No. Do you know that one? It's like SP.
Oh yeah, the Society of Saint Peter the Tenth.
Yeah.
They're Catholic. They're just like heretical because they don't accept they don't accept the Second Vatican Council. Trust me, when I was Catholic, I hated the Society of Saint Peter the Tenth. I thought it was a heretical sect. Now we have a Catholic here who's saying that Catholics aren't Christian because Catholics. I don't know. It's not just TikTok. I've heard Christian and Catholics in person say this. They're just poorly catechized, is what it is. So this is the Catechism of the Catholic Church. I got the fancy one from the Ascension Press, because I ex-Catholic, and we're gonna open up and we're gonna see what the Catechism of the Catholic Church says. We have here Catechism of the Catholic Church, paragraph 12,089. Let's see.
That's a weird way to group paragraphs. Like you just go off paragraphs in this.
Yeah, the whole thing is divided into numbered paragraphs, so it's easier.
Oh, jeez. How is that easier? They don't have chapters?
No, trust me, it's easier this way. If you want to find something very specific, just go, it's in, and then instead of saying a whole chapter, you'd have to scan the whole chapter. No, say the paragraph, you know exactly where to find it.
Yeah, but you can do chapter and paragraph. So chapter, like Josephus's works are.
Yeah, this is just easier, trust me.
Okay.
Very
trust
early.
you.
Very early, this is Catechism of the Catholic Church. Very early, the better to signify the gift of the Holy Spirit, an anointing with perfumed oil, chrism, was added to the laying on of hands. This anointing highlights the name Christian, which means anointed, and derives from that of Christ himself, whom God anointed with the Holy Spirit. This rite of anointing has continued ever since in both East and West. For this reason, the Eastern churches call this sacrament chrismation, anointing with chrism, and myron, which means chrism. In the West, the term confirmation suggests that the sacrament both confirms baptism and strengthens baptismal graces. So we see here that the Catechism of the Catholic Church identifies you, as a Christian. Be educated at least on your own religion.
Dalton, Jesus is dead.
Yeah, that is true. Jesus is dead.
No, the Christians have been claiming that too. I'm never gonna get over that. I'm never gonna get over that. I could not believe my ears. It wasn't just one. It wasn't just two. It wasn't just three. It wasn't just four. It was five. 5 motherfucking Christians in a week time span said that Jesus was still dead.
Listen, I get it, Christians. It's hard to read. But you gotta read your Bibles. You've gotta do it. Come on.
Reading is easy.
And for Catholics, you gotta fucking read the Catechism of the Catholic Church.
No, reading is so easy. We can read without vowels.
Yeah, that is true. I'm just saying for Christians, it's hard. Islam actively tries to bury what it accepted previously when it is wrong. That's true. If you ever hear a Muslim say that there's only ever been one version of the Quran, that is also false. There have been several different versions of the Quran.
Yes, I have one of them.
Someone said they didn't even start writing the Bible until 400 AD. That is not true. On YouTube, Dan Steely, that is not true. The Bible was not written by anyone in 408 CE. The Bible was
They might be talking about the Council of Nicaea, which
had nothing to do with the canon of the scripture, despite what commonly is thought. They didn't decide the canon of the scripture at the Council of Nicaea. The Bible is several books that were written out over millennia and then were compiled by Athanasius and not at the Council of Nicaea. So that is actually not a true statement.
Dan McQuillan talks about this in his book, The Bible Tells Me So.
Yes.
Yeah. He talks about this in, I think, the second chapter.
Foxfire says Jesus is worm food. Well, I don't know if worms can eat bones, and that's pretty much all that's left of him if he's real. We've all read it. Not everyone has read it yet, and if you haven't, I do suggest you do read it. It's a great book. It's good, especially if you got someone out there in your life who needs to start doing like basic deconstruction. This is the good place to start. Is Dan's book, The Bible Says So.
Yeah, the Bible says no, not tells me so. I think I said tells me so. My brain went to the Christian song.
The Bible tells me so. I mean, it is based on that song. Let's see. Where is the Christians? All we've gotten is a Nazi and a Muslim. And one good deconstructor. Have you heard of St. Pius and what happened to them? Oh, you're referring to what we've been talking about. Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, in the 1960s and 70s, there was a council held by the Catholic Church called the Second Vatican Council. And during this council, they did a lot of reforming of they didn't change any dogmas or anything like that. They just changed the way that the Catholic Church practices a lot of their sacraments and rites and stuff like that. And a lot of people, like for example, they made to where you no longer had to listen to the Mass in Latin. You could hear it in your common vernacular language. So for us, English, for example. And a lot of people accepted it, but there was a number of people who didn't like it. And despite the fact that the Second Vatican Council made these renovations, they continued to do things the old way. And generally the people who are more traditional like this also happen to be more anti-Semitic, first and foremost. They're more alt-right individuals. And the Catholic Church is coming down on them hard now under Pope Leo.
Yeah, I was reading about that. That's what I brought up earlier, is like, and it's not just like that. They have a history of like confirming priest, which gets you excommunicated without the Vatican approval.
Yeah. Evangelicals don't read the Bible. They get gaslit with good vibes and copium. That is true. When I was an evangelical Christian, not a lot of reading was done in the Bible. I was reading the Bible more than anyone else, which is probably what led to me eventually deconstructing. Ray says, because God loves you the way you are. He doesn't love me if he doesn't exist, Ray. But you're more than welcome to come up here and prove that he does exist.
The Bible also, he definitely... I'm wearing men's clothing right now. He doesn't like that.
And I'm wearing a woman's thong right now. I'm just kidding. No.
Yeah, God definitely wouldn't approve of my my wearing of boxers right now in a man's t-shirt.
Sorry, imagination got a little loose from me for a second.
What?
Kathy G-Max says, when you actually read the Bible instead of getting gaslit, you deconstruct. That is true. Okay, Foxfire says, need the thong. Bible guy thong wearing? Anyone?
Thong.
Yeah. No, there's nothing wrong with it. Anyways, and he takes everyone's heart.
That sounds like it's from Indiana Jones.
That's not. Oh yeah, Kalima, Kalima. Or he's a werewolf and he eats your heart out. Yeah. Oh well. Okay, we got here Kellen Goggins, but then they disappeared. Then they're back. Kellen
Yo,
Goggins,
what's up?
I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Question number 2, what pronouns do you go by?
He, him.
And question number 3, are you a Christian?
Yep.
All right. I'm Dalton the Bible Guy. This is Ashland. Why should I be a Christian?
It's hard to explain. You used to be one, right?
Yeah.
What's one?
Ex-Christian.
Why were you one in the first place? Like, just
I was-
indoctrination?
Indoctrination. Took a long time for me to deconstruct.
What do you, I don't mean to derail, but what was your first instance of, like, deconstruction?
Finding out that Jesus did not fulfill prophecies from the Old Testament. I was attempting to become an evangelist to the Jewish people and to convince them that Jesus was the Messiah. So I learned Hebrew. I read the Old Testament. I tried to learn the prophecies in their original language and context. Come to find out, Jesus didn't fulfill any prophecy. So I deconstructed away from Christianity to Judaism. And then eventually I started to treat the Hebrew Bible the same way I would treat the New Testament. And eventually I deconstructed away from that to general deism and then to atheism.
I think didn't it start before that with the stars, and then your group were starting to read flat earthing. And
that's when I started leaving Judaism for general deism, was when I found out that,
okay, that was Judaism. Okay,
that this Old Testament was like scientifically inaccurate. Yeah.
Have you heard of the book called More Than a Carpenter by Josh McDowell?
Yep. Heard of it, never read it.
I just got done reading it. It's only 128 pages, so it only took like 2 days, but it said that Jesus fulfilled 8 major prophecies, but that's not true.
No, he didn't fulfill even one prophecy. Generally what happens in these situations is that in order to get Jesus to fulfill prophecies in the Old Testament needs to be taken out of context or mistranslated in order to make it look as if it's about Jesus.
Gotcha. Yeah, it took 2 days because I did 50 pages the first day and then I just finished it the next day. I didn't it only took it's only supposed to take like three hours to read the whole thing. It's supposed to be concise, yeah. So this book's from 1977. You're saying because one of the
I hate to kind of cut you short, but we don't need like a wiki reads on it. Do you have an argument from the book? Yeah, that you could maybe present.
Well, yeah, one of the prophecies is that he would be from the lineage of Shem.
But all Jewish people are from the lineage of Shem, so it's not really all that
And then
miraculous.
Another prophecy was Jesus would basically come, the prophecy that there would be a Messiah.
Well, that's only fulfilled by Jesus if he is the Messiah. If he's not the Messiah, then he's not fulfilling any prophecy about a Messiah coming.
It said he would come before the destruction of the Temple of Jerusalem.
It doesn't
which
say
happened
that in the Hebrew Bible.
Oh, in this book it claims that. See, this is
the reason
this
it
is
says
the thing about religion that pisses me off. Though, it's like hamburger's healthy. Hamburger causes heart disease. It's like it depends on who you ask.
The reason why Josh says that is because he thinks that the Mashiach, anointed one of Daniel chapter 9, that is cut off before the destruction of the temple, is the Messiah. When the majority of scholars would say that it's an anointed one who's cut off is High Priest Onias III.
But also you might have some misunderstanding about nutrition as well, but that's not this for this life.
Well, no, I'm saying based on you go to a plant-based doctor, they'll say, "Oh, eggs are bad." You go to not a carnivore. You go to like a regular doctor. 99%.
A hamburger can be a healthy
"Oh,
place
eggs are
in many
healthy."
different diets. Yeah, like there are tons of diets in which can include that, and you can live a long and healthy life. It's a reduction. That's what the data generally says in nutrition. So I think you might have a misunderstanding where you have to present this like dichotomy, like attribute to things where it either is true or isn't in all cases, and it's called a hasty generalization. So, and I think you're applying the same type of thought to what sounds like the field of biblical study as well.
Well, I mean, there are doctors that are like, "Oh, eggs are as bad as smoking if you eat eggs."
Yeah. Anyways, enough.
Yeah,
about
that
this.
has nothing to do with this.
Enough
Yeah.
about this eggs thing. Jesus, yeah, that's the first thing I deconstructed was the fact that Jesus didn't fulfill any prophecies.
Well, I've seen. I mean, yes. Granted, I know you're gonna say it's BS, but I've seen lots of like videos that say, "Oh, he fulfilled over 120 prophecies." Oh,
I've also seen these videos, and I'm able to debunk every single one of them.
Yeah, the important part is the argument. Like, do you have an argument for this? Is the question.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, what is the argument?
The argument's right in this book, in More Than a Carpenter.
What is
The
okay?
apostles-
If you're going to use that argument, you need to know what the argument is and be able to give it to us. So we're not going to go read the book right now on live.
No, I was
Just
gonna
summarize
say
the
it. I was gonna say it.
argument. Yeah.
So, 11 out of the 12 apostles were executed. Obviously,
No. No,
Yeah.
the majority of these
Yeah.
majority of these stories come to us 100 to 200 years after the apostles. There are traditions. We don't actually have any verifiable data to suggest that they died in all these different yeehaw. Anyways, we don't have any way of verifying any of these like traditions, and some of them are just so ridiculous that they call into question the veracity of them. The only apostles that we can say for sure that died of an unnatural cause would be Peter and Paul and James. And when it comes to James, we don't get told why he was executed, only that he was by Josephus. And then Peter and Paul, we get told that they were executed probably for being Christian, but we're not told whether or not they were allowed to recant or not. So only 3 of the 12 do we have any like story on execution that isn't like tradition from hundreds of years later.
see, and there's I don't know if you've seen this guy on TikTok. He hosts a live. He literally says, Jesus never existed. Paul never existed.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
friends
Jaron.
I'm friends
Christ
with
before
Jaron.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm friends with
But
Jaron.
but you think Paul existed though?
I think Paul existed. I just don't think that he
And
saw
yet
anything.
He goes 70 feet down a fucking rabbit hole saying,
Okay, well,
he
we're
never
not going to
existed.
we're
Yeah.
not going to talk about Jaron if he's not here to defend his position.
Yes, yeah. We don't
But I'm
know.
just saying you can take it and say whatever you want. This person didn't
Kellen, do
exist.
you have an argument for Jesus?
Yeah, just give us the argument. We've asked you like 3
Well-
times now.
You know what's funny though is you saying Paul existed, him saying Paul didn't.
Anyways,
Jeez. Okay, just give the argument. Like, we don't attack other people,
Yeah.
without them being here to defend their position. Because I haven't read Jaron's book. Dalton hasn't read Jaron's book. I know kind of the basis of the understanding of the claim, but I have never talked to Jaron specifically about my discrepancies, or even delved into the position itself. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend to know everything that Jaren would say about this.
Yeah. Buffet, are you? I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Question number 2: what pronouns do you go by?
She and her.
And question number 3: are you a Christian?
I am a deconstructed Catholic, but I just wanted to really quickly say that the book Christ Before Jesus that they wrote is an absolute must read. It is a mic drop. They leave it with the prosecution arrests, and it is an amazing, amazing read. It's for me. It was just confirmed a lot of what I'd already found on my own. But yeah, raised Catholic, indoctrinated Catholic from baptism through confirmation. So yeah, the person was wrong. Catholics are Christians. That's why Christ is hanging back there behind the priest as he gives the sermon. Anyway, you guys are doing a great job. Thank you so much, and keep doing what you're doing.
All right. Well, congratulations on leaving Catholicism, and you have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Everyone, make sure you tap your screen. Share the live with those you love, with those you hate, with your friends, and with your enemies. Let's get the word out there so we can have some interesting conversations about why should I be a Christian. No one's given me an answer yet today for why I should be a Christian. I've had Christians come up and talk about everything under the sun except for why I should be a Christian. Saying 11
I will say that the reason why I haven't, and I'm just going to be completely honest, is that I haven't read Jaren's book is because it's just not peer reviewed. And this is just my personal opinion. This is not Dalton's. And I do want to see a peer review because I know nothing about stilometry. And I'm just not educated enough to have an opinion on the subject. That's why I separate myself from it because I don't know. I just literally do not know the claims that are being made or anything about it.
Kellen, it is not a lie to say that 11 of the 12 apostles were not executed. We do not have enough verifiable historical data to make the conclusion that 11 of the 12 apostles were executed. This is a common claim made by apologists, and there's no substantiation for it. Let's see. Could you even name me any of these? Okay. She just came in here and pushed my light. Ava. And then she left. Could you name me any of these primary documents that actually make this claim? Probably not. All you have is Josh's book. So cute. Yeah, she is cute. And a little shit. Ava, come in here and say hi to people. Nini. I don't know where she went. Let's see. Bible dog. You know what? Fuck it. I'll go. Peter was crucified upside down. Prove Socrates existed. I can prove Paul existed. I agree that Paul existed, Kellen. Can you prove to me that Peter was crucified upside down? What document says this? And also, it's probably a really it's a really silly claim. Like Peter was about to get executed, and so he tells the Romans, "These I am not worthy to die the same as my Lord." And so the Romans, who were just so inclined to help out Jewish people, were like, "You know what, Peter? We agree you are not worthy to die the same way that our Lord Jesus Christ was killed, so we will crucify you upside down. We'll do you that favor, old pal." What a ridiculous thing to say happen. Jesus is Lord, amen. No, I think you meant to spell here. Let me put it in the comment section. Jesus is, there we go. It's Jesus is Lard, Lard, Lard. Yeah. They teach reality in schools. Satan is Lord. No, Satan is Lord. You keep spelling words wrong. Well, actually, Satan is also like bullshit, Johnny. Yeah, they totally took requests at executions. Jesus is gourd. Loki is Lord. Public school doesn't teach about Paul. It teaches about Aristotle. Imagine that. Because why the fuck would they teach about Paul? Kellen? Socrates made innovations in philosophy. Paul was a cult leader. Hiding the truth. Oh, right. Yeah. Guys, look at that. We got a fucking conspiracy theorist here. Here. I'm just gonna... You've got nothing of substance to say. Eris is Lord. I don't know who Eris is, but Eros. I'm all behind Eros being Lord. Aphrodite is Lord. How about that? How about them apples? Doug is Lord. Amen. May he rock hard for Doug. Praise his rocky hardness. Maybe they had to spin to win too. However it comes out is how they crucify. The Romans like had a bottle and they spend it. And if it went, okay, Kellen is back. Maybe Kellen now has evidence for why I should be a Christian. Why should I be a Christian, Kellen?
Wait, why?
Yeah.
Because it's just the truth, man.
Prove that it's true.
What I want to reply to Velvet Worm. Yeah, we have 7 letters.
Whoa. Well, you're not debating with Velvet Worm. You're talking to me. So
all right.
Why should I think Christianity is true?
Let me think. Because the Earth is actually flat, and they lied about that.
It's not flat. Your brain is, though. I'm convinced now that your brain is flat after that statement.
Okay, you believe everything they write in the textbooks.
You believe everything they write in the old dusty books.
How are our phones working?
Science.
You don't believe in science, though.
What field supports the oblate spheroid position of the Earth?
Hey, have you been to the moon?
Wow, what a way out here.
Have you seen Jesus?
Wait a minute.
Why haven't?
Yeah, no. Have you seen Jesus? Like in person, in flesh? Because if the criterion of like knowing if something is true or not is to experience it, then you also should not be a Christian.
Well, no, I'm saying you can believe something without having total evidence, whereas you...
Okay, but then why did you ask me if I've been to the moon or not? Then why did you ask? Well, I know that the Earth is round because I have actually experienced that. I've been in a plane and you can see a curvature, first off. Second of all, I know how satellites work. I can look at stars and I can observe things. Like I have observational. Also, I can see when on the horizon when a ship is coming towards me, what disappears for. So there's a ton of different ways that I can observe this to be true. But I also just understand how math works, and we can definitely look at shadows to understand the math on why the Earth is an oblate spheroid versus flat. The math doesn't check out. So there are tons of different arguments for this.
One thing I will say, there are a ton of pilots that think the Earth is flat. So, and they've been on planes way more than
I don't
you have,
care.
so.
I don't care about ad populums, or actually, it's not even an ad populum because it's a minority viewpoint. I don't care how many people think this. I know of psychology, like PhDs in the field that I studied, who think absolutely psychotic things, like Jordan Peterson, who has a degree in that field, and he is denounced by the field because the data doesn't support him. I care about the data.
This guy said no pilots think the Earth is flat. You should go to
you're
Tron.
not talking to the audience. You're talking to us. Pay
Respond
attention.
to me. Respond to me.
All right.
I'm here.
Well, what I was going to say is I read from a book. I believe what's in this book. You read from a book.
Are you going to respond
No,
to Ashlyn's point
I don't.
about how
I don't.
satellites work?
I don't read from a book. I just told you that it's not just from reading from a book. I have observations and understandings of how the world works. Besides that, it's not just one data point that I use. I use a multiplicity of data points in order to support the conclusion that I have. Like literally physics.
so do I.
Physics. How mass works doesn't make sense on a flat earth. Like how gravity works.
Oh, I got a pilot in the comment section right now saying I'm a pilot. It's a globe. Also, I have an actual physicist who is on the way right now to the live. And we'll let you talk to Quantanaut, my friend Quantanaut. We'll see.
Sounds good.
How well your position holds too. He just said 1 sec. He'll be right over here in just a moment. But yeah,
That's fine.
Like it's strange to me. What evidence do you even have?
Okay, so if matter can't be created nor destroyed, then where
That's
did that
not
first...
true. That is not true at all. PET scans.
That's not true. That's like one of the most...
Enclosed systems. It is not true. Literally, you can Wikipedia it.
So where did the God particle come from?
Oh,
then?
well, actually, look at that. We now have
There
an
he
actual
is.
physicist on the panel. Quantanaut, we got a flurfer here. So
boy, do they even know about neutrinos?
yeah, I'll let you take away with it. I'm gonna get something to drink. Quantanaut, have fun.
It's gonna be fun.
Go ahead, bud. Present your argument.
Internet.
Present your argument to Quantanaut for why you think the Earth is flat.
Internet's not great in there.
There's one right next to it.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Well-
Internet cut out for a little bit. I'm back.
No, you're good. Why do I think the Earth is flat?
Oh. Do tell.
Well, the moon landings were clearly fake, like super.
Even
fake.
if that was true, that doesn't negate the fact that the Earth is round.
No, but it gives it some credibility, though. It's like, really, they had to
Not
fake
at
this?
all, really.
It does. It's
Not at all.
was-
Those are like
It was during a time of a competitive space race that the incentivized thing that could have just been the case. Like that it could just be that the United States needed to fake this thing in order to psych out the world. That's not true, but at the same time it could be the case.
right. But it's completely unrelated because we've known that the Earth was a globe well before any space program was even founded.
Okay. How does water? The Earth is 75% water. How does all that water stick to the sides of the
Well,
Earth?
the surface, and it's not the side because in space there is no up or down.
Some of it's on the side of the Earth, though.
What's the top?
Well, if it's a ball, then there's a top, there's a bottom.
No, there's not. No side is the top or bottom.
So you're saying there's no sides on an oblate sphere, right?
Or rather, it is all sides.
Yeah, but how does the water?
It gets pulled to the middle of the Earth by gravity.
Isn't there a demonstration of this, Quantanaut?
So how come
Yes,
gravity?
in fact, there's something called the Cavendish experiment, which
Yeah.
shows that mass attracts mass.
So how come gravity is strong enough to pull the oceans in, but not strong enough to hold gases down?
It does hold gases down. That's why we have an atmosphere.
Yeah, but I can boil water right now, and the vapor is going to rise, but yet
It'll only rise so far. It won't rise indefinitely. The only reason why it rises is because there's heavier gases around it that get pulled down harder than the gases that are rising.
But yet trillions of gallons of water stay to the sides of the Earth.
Again, you're assuming that like it would fall, it would have somewhere else to fall. Down is towards the center of the Earth.
I don't get it, bro.
I grant that.
You beat me to it.
And then also if you think about it,
do you know these things called neutrino experiments?
Well, I have a question though. Okay, I'll let you go.
Okay, yeah. So I'm a particle physicist, and one thing that we experiment with are these particles called neutrinos. They're like electrons, but are different in that they have no electrical charge, meaning that they have a really cool property of being able to pass through large amounts of solid matter. We can use these to shoot beams of them down into the ground, where they travel in straight lines, and we can see them re-emerge hundreds of miles away, coming up from below the ground elsewhere on the globe. Something that would only be possible if the surface of the Earth were curved. Like, we've done this multiple times. Multiple completely independent laboratories have done this across different countries, sometimes from one country to a different country. And you can also have a public tour of some of these locations yourself. One of them even has publicly available data that you can analyze.
Would you say that sea level is flat?
No, don't address anything that I just said.
Well,
he is really good at avoiding discussing the things that are actually said to him. So could you address what Quantonaut just said?
Well, it's pretty hard to discuss all the sciencey words that
Not really. As I said, it's rather simple. You have a beam, you aim it down into the ground, and it comes out hundreds of miles away. Simple as that.
Maybe he could. If it was flat, we would expect a beam, the particle, to come across in one part. But if we have a round Earth, it's going to come off across in another part. Think of holding.
Actually, it's even worse than that. It's even worse than that, because if you aim it down into the ground and the Earth is flat, it just keeps going down. It never comes back up.
Yeah, imagine, for example, Callan. Let's imagine you had a plane, like a chessboard. If I took a needle and stuck it into the chessboard, would it pop up at any other point in the chessboard if it's just going down?
No.
But if I had an orange and I took a needle and pushed it into the orange, would it pop out one of the other sides of the orange?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when these beams are pushed into the Earth or shot down into the Earth, they pop up somewhere else on the Earth. How does that work?
Don't know.
Maybe the Earth is a sphere? Maybe.
It matches the prediction of a sphere exactly.
So what's under the Earth then? If the Earth is floating in space, what's underneath it? Just more space.
You keep using terminology like above and below, but I can't get this across to you that there is no up or down in space. There is into Earth and away from Earth.
No.
Everything that we understand
That doesn't
about
make any
directions
sense,
are relative.
If you're going to the moon, right?
You have to go away from Earth.
Below the moon.
Nope.
There's no below the moon.
So even
directions are arbitrary.
Yeah, and even in art, right? The reason why we understand, think of an artwork, right? The reason why we know where edges are or left and right are is because there are boundaries within that.
Or rather, we get our sense of up and down because of the direction that gravity pulls us.
Yeah.
And that gravity points towards the nearest heavy mass of object. So down is towards heavy objects, and up is away.
So there's nothing below the moon then.
I really like this map here for this reason. That is this map upside down, Callan?
No.
It's not? I agree it's not. Even because, look, when I look at all the all the
letters are facing the same way.
Yeah, it's like what you determine.
Which on a sphere that doesn't even make any sense on a sphere.
It does make
no
sense. It does make sense on a sphere.
You just have to do away with your intuition of there being a down and up.
Is there a bottom of a basketball? Is there a bottom of a basketball?
Yes, there is, and that's
Where?
typically where the air pump actually is inserted to inflate the ball.
No, that's
you know what
not
I mean. If it's like perfectly symmetrical.
Yeah, if I have a perfectly symmetrical sphere, is there a bottom to that sphere?
Yeah.
Where?
If there is no ground, there is no bottom.
If it's not okay.
And I think maybe part of this is that you think that planets are floating in space, but the term floating is not correct. What is accurate is that they are actually falling. The Earth is falling around the sun. It's just going to the side fast enough that it misses the sun.
Okay, and
that's what an orbit is. It doesn't have to float.
I'm not trying to be a jerk, but have you been to space?
We are all in space because Earth is in space.
But in the
we already discussed this. We already fucking went over this, dude. You are making a claim about Jesus, then all of your things, like if you can't observe something directly, then you can't make any claims about anything.
Well, no, my point about Jesus is that you say it's not true, and
but you haven't been there. But you weren't there.
Yeah, you can't say that.
You didn't witness it.
You can't say that's true. You haven't been there.
But I'm basing my belief the same way you're basing your belief.
Wait, you have
about
math. You have math and evidence.
science.
You have math and evidence for Jesus. We have math and evidence for the Earth being a globe.
Okay, we can also observe it.
There's a rather simple experiment that you can do inside your own house on a budget to show that mass attracts mass, which is all that you need to get, the effects of gravity that I'm describing.
Well, that's just to prove one proof, but yeah.
It proves one proof, sure, yeah, that the Earth is round.
Okay, how do I do that?
It's called the Cavendish experiment. Mm-hmm. And the basic idea is that you set up a torsion pendulum. So this is you have a wire that ends in a bar going off to the sides and two heavy masses on both ends of the balls. Then you have two more lead balls that are situated on the ground just besides the two balls that are attached to the torsion pendulum. And the idea is that when you place or remove the heavy masses outside of the torsion pendulum, it'll slightly induce a torque due to the gravitational attraction between the masses that goes away when you remove the masses.
Okay, so
yes, that is a good demo that Dalton is showing.
So do you have any math
and the way
that proves Jesus?
The way that you measure it is you attach a mirror to the very middle and bounce a laser off of it, and you can see how much the laser dot moves based on the presence or removal of the heavy masses.
Well, look at that. Do you have any experiments that prove Jesus?
Well, not necessarily.
All right. Well, we have experiments that prove the Earth is around. So
I don't have an experiment. I don't have an experiment.
Point one for science.
Socrates existed either.
Well, we have independent writings about Socrates from people that knew him. We don't have any writings from people that knew Jesus.
Also, the claims are entirely different.
What about Paul?
Paul didn't know Jesus. Paul didn't know Jesus. He had visions where he saw Jesus.
So we can look at Socrates' works, by the way, and just evaluate the works. Whether Socrates existed or not doesn't matter, because like the thing about Socrates itself or themselves are the writings that we're evaluating. You're making a claim that God exists and that there are supernatural entities in which exist based upon these writings. They are not equivalent.
Like, if I told you I had a dog, would that require a lot of evidence for you to believe? Since you know that people exist and dogs exist and that people have dogs?
No.
Whoa, who's this?
I don't know. It popped up.
No, that's
Down.
but that's not.
I
you're
didn't
not
let
out
them
there
up.
No, if you told me that you can shoot lasers from your hands without using technology.
Yeah, in
yeah,
other
it's a
words,
different
the
thing.
greater the claim, the more evidence I'm going to need for it. So, like, a guy named Socrates existing who did philosophy. Well, I know that guys existed. Socrates is a valid Greek name, and philosophy, it was a practice in the ancient in ancient Greece. That's not really all that miraculous a claim.
Can I say something now?
But a Jewish
or
guy,
Socrates just wasn't his name. It doesn't matter, because like that has nothing to do with the fact that like your claim is supernatural in intent. Like someone writing about something.
a guy coming back from life and doing magic is a much greater claim than a guy named Socrates existed. Therefore, I'm going to need a substantial bit of evidence for the Jesus claim than for the Socrates claim.
Oh, I understand that. And I used to think it was nutty for people to think that he came back to life after 3 days.
Yes.
I used to think that was insane.
It is.
But you smoked too much weed and then had a psychotic
I don't
experiment.
know what happened. I don't know what happened. But
It sounds like you've done a lot of substances and maybe had an experience in which you
No.
attribute to that.
Well, it sounds like the physics part of this discussion has passed, and my internet is getting
You're
choppy.
good.
So
Thank you.
I'll
Quantanaut.
hop down. Yeah,
Yeah.
happy to be out.
Yeah, but by the way, for anyone in this live,
Thank you.
THC
Thank you, man.
is the like most attributed drug to psychosis. So for anyone that doesn't understand that and thinks
I've
that
never
like they
smoked it.
might, okay, I'm just telling the chat then at this point.
Yeah. Anyways, so just so we can get it clear on what's happened here, we gave you proof in math and evidence for the Earth being a globe. You've given us nothing for Jesus.
well, I tried to give you something for Jesus, and then you said, "Oh, those apostles, they weren't all executed."
Yeah. Well, give me
Even
evidence
though-
that they were all executed,
brother.
Oh no, he's gonna ask me to do
Give
the
me-
thing. I gave him evidence, and
Give me-
when he asked us for evidence, did I go, "Oh, brother"? Well, did I do
Give me
that?
evidence.
Or shut up. When he asked us for evidence, the earth was round. We fucking gave him evidence. We didn't do any hooing and hawing and crying. As
No,
soon as
you
I
didn't.
asked him for evidence of his claim, he goes, "Oh, brother." Anyways. Welcome back, Brian.
Hey, so sorry about that. I was trying to get in just a moment with Quantanaut to see if he was aware of my buddy Harry, otherwise known as Blue Marble Science's Cavendish experiment. You can get it on his channel on YouTube.
Yes,
He's
I
handing-
yeah. He does this. He does that, and then is it the same one that does the spinning as well?
I don't know about the spinning, but he's a former Army radiographer who turned pilot, and now he teaches pilots in retirement. And he's a really cool dude. His channel's awesome, and his work on Flat Earth is top notch. It's part of why Flat Earthers stopped engaging with him.
I love that. Yeah, I think the neutrino argument is pretty damn good. I'm with Quantanaut here. I'm W to neutrinos.
And then other than that, something to add to the discussion about schizophrenia and or other psychotic disorders and THC
Hell yeah, there's a link, and we keep unmasking it more and more. And it's entirely possible that THC is actually causing some epigenetic modification.
Yes. Thank you, Brian. Thank
Yeah, I
you.
mean,
Yeah.
that's
It
it
is
is.
not it is
Sorry,
not
go ahead.
safe. It is not completely safe. We like as a society, the same with alcohol, have just like peddled it as this like because people aren't like completely, dying on it, that it's just benevolent like or non consequential drug. It is absolutely not.
Which is why
Sorry.
if you're gonna do drugs, kids, wait until you're at least 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait till your brain's fully developed. You have a better understanding of life because it is a psychoactive drug, and it can absolutely change those neural pathways that you have. It can lead to basically, in a very simple term, it can unlock certain coding. That's the easiest way that I know how to explain it, and lead to where you had to have the biology to begin with to have psychosis. It's one of those things that can like trigger that, and that's what the research indicates.
I love that someone said the "oh brother" is the argument from "come on brother, come on, just come on." Yeah, sorry, Kellen, that's not gonna work for us. I waited until my 40s to start. I think I can count on my hand the number of times I've smoked pot. 5 times. And the last time I didn't smoke it, I ate it, and then
But
it was
it also can harm memory, by the way. Like it is absolutely, if you do it regularly, it can change like the way that you remember things. It can change those like neurocircuitry like pathways, without going into too much detail because I don't want to like go into too much terminology. It can cause amnesia. And in fact, when I was in college, our professors, when I studied psychology,
Aiden
What?
Aaron in the comment section says at Ghostwriter read the Bible. Aiden, you don't get to tell anyone to read the Bible. You said on Mezzo's live 2 days ago that the reason that God had the Israelites kill the Amalekite babies was to make baby shields out of them. You don't get to tell anyone to read the Bible when you haven't fucking read it yourself.
But yeah, like, thank you, Brian, for holding my position on this, because I am very passionate about the use of THC, especially with the younger audiences.
I mean, don't say kids don't smoke pot when you're young. I say let your brain fully develop. Don't risk what would have been a life without schizophrenia. There's a very, very high degree of evidence that says that doing it too young will in fact fuck you up.
Also, to the Zabas in the comment section, he's calling us Nephilim. The Bible says that the Nephilim were mighty men. So you know what? I'll fucking take it. I'm a mighty man in Zaba's eyes. Thank you for that.
Oh, and so I did remember what I was going to talk to you about earlier, which was One More Chosen, who you had to throw off your show the other day. I don't know if you went back and listened to his and Ian's back and forth, but Ian stated a 9-premise argument between 3 different times, and the guy kept saying that Ian never once made an argument. That's the level of dishonesty you're dealing with.
Well, there does seem to be a pattern where I make a very clear argument to the Christian, and then they just ask me the question as if they didn't hear what I just said to them.
Oh yeah, he did that the entire time with Ian, and then at one point Ian asked which when he finally got him to address the argument, Ian asked him which of the premises he rejected. He's like, I reject every premise but the first one, which means he was accepting the premise. If God exists, he is the creator, with the conclusion of therefore God doesn't exist.
It's strange to me because I have tried really hard to find programs or psychology that focus on religiosity and what it does to the brain, it's near impossible to find that like will just specifically study this. Does anyone have any resources where like there are people out there that are a part of a university who are putting out like peer-reviewed papers on this subject that aren't just like dictating fundamentalism? Because like there's tons that really go out there against fundamentalism, but I cannot find good sources in psychology for just studying the phenomenon of religiosity.
Come on, Bible dog, get on my.
I don't know necessarily that there's anything like that. I do know that there are some studies that show that increased religiosity or participating in religious activities, and specifically either transcendental meditation or prayer, as having an effect on pain management because it increases coping skills.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that it reduces overall pain levels.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the pain because that's actually what I focused on in my research. But it's like really difficult to find negative views on this. And it's not because it's not that they don't exist. It's because it's just not studied. Because I've tried to look at courses and enroll in courses, in the intent to enroll in courses, and it just seems like the field of psychology is just letting it be, which is like strange to me. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they do that is strange to me as well.
Maybe.
But Vader in the chat there. Stating that kids are prescribed THC in certain cases, like his nephew. Yeah, that happens. Usually, it's going to be usually going to be CBD that's prescribed to kids who have complex seizure disorder that otherwise can't be controlled. But God, I'm trying to think. There's another disorder that you see infrequently, and I can't remember what it is.
Cancer.
No, it's not even a cancer. It's a developmental disorder that causes isolated spongiform areas of the brain, and the kids just essentially stay in status epilepticus if you don't use some sort of cannabinoid to suppress it. And I cannot remember what the name of it is.
I have no idea. That sounds like a field of neurology rather than biopsychology even. But yeah, it's used as a treatment but that needs to be like with a healthcare provider and yourself and your child. I'm not saying that we shouldn't study it, and I'm not even saying that it should be labeled as a certain class, and we should be able to do research on it. The difference is like having access.
I think someone might have you mistaken for Scientific Snitch, because I got a super chat here from @SimianUrchin to Scientific Snitch with the $4.99. Religion for Breakfast made a video about the psychology of religion. I bet that video has sources, and you can even email him.
I'm gonna screenshot this. Can you pull it back up? Yeah, pull it back up so I can go and find this. I am not Scientific Snitch. I'm Ashland, Bachelor's of Psychology with a focus of biopsychology. Snitch is far more educated than I am. In fact, I goon for Snitch.
Snitch is gonna fuck around and get 3 PhDs and an MD at this rate.
Right?
All right, let me see. Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick restart on TikTok, and then hopefully we'll get some more debates in here. I'll see you all in just a hot minute. And then it's just us now. Me and you, people over on YouTube. Oh, how I love you so. You guys are funny as fuck in the comment section. Okay. Here we go. Going live. You never take me to Bangladesh. All right, let's see. Ashland. From the Ashland.
Yes. Also, whoever confused me with scientific snitch, thank you. Because
Simian urchin.
Simian urchin. If you think that I even sound remotely like her, in the way that I speak, I take that as a great honor because I fangirl over her so much.
Her and Force Valkai.
Yeah.
The only person I get mistaken for is Tom Rabbit, and I've yet to meet him actually.
You're trying though.
Yeah, I'm trying. I reached out. Mom is heading off to the casino tonight. I told her to make $10,000. She did. She brought home $10,000 once.
You told me. Yeah. Unfortunately, most of the time that doesn't equate to overall winnings. But as long as she's like, she doesn't seem like she overindulged and she has fun and she can relax, and that's all that matters.
She's very good at management of money. Assets. Thank you. All right. Let's see if we can get another Christian in here. Let's see if we can get a Christian in here today who can actually give us an argument for Christianity. So far, it's been pretty lackluster. Let's see.
Also, Brian, nociception, outside of probably PTSD, are my favorite in psych.
At Bethos with the 2 euros, Pride even off Pride Month, diversity over dimwits. Oh yeah, I'm keeping this flag up, y'all. For sure. And also, I just like that it pisses them off, and also they always think I'm gay, and then I can be like, I'm not, and it confuses them because they don't understand what it means to be an ally.
You are poly or pan in some degree.
I
would say poly.
I just like being gaped is all. But
yeah, but like I would consider you polysexual. If you don't identify with that, that's fine. But
I identify.
That's how I would see it.
I identify with anything that would say that I just like ladies and I don't care what they got going on under the drawers. Well, as long as there's no like spikes and stuff in down there, as long as it's a penis or a vagina, I'm good to go.
Yeah, my my best friend Brent, in-person best friend, because you're like my online best friend.
I've met you.
Yeah, it's weird that my 2 best friends are the exact same way in this way.
Tell Brent Brent for that. We are DNA. Thank you for sharing the live. Holy hell.
Oh no, I remember it now. I actually had that wrong. It's not a spongiform disease. It's a neuromyotonic disease. So it's Isaac's. Isaac's disease can be treated with CBD.
Well, I'm gonna look that. Yeah, I'm gonna look up what this is, because like we have to go over like some neurology. Isaac's disease.
Justice for Amalek. Well, that's the first thing that you've ever said that wasn't like shitty, Aiden. Justice for the children in Amalek who were absolutely fucking genocided by the Israelites.
Not Tay-Six, Isaac's, right?
Yeah, Isaac's disease.
Hold on.
And I still could be wrong. I'll double check on my end.
Sorry for your loss. What the hell are you talking about now, Aiden?
Isaac's syndrome.
Syndrome, not a disease. Okay. The Isaac spelling of this is not a traditional form. Okay.
Strapped to the shields, but still
It's
looking cute.
neuromuscular. Oh, okay, yeah, that would make sense because okay. So when I see like symptoms of like nerves firing excessively, I'm thinking of like a lack of inhibitory or excitatory neurotransmission, and yeah, that's the same thing that we see in seizure disorders. Is this?
The Mr. Eddie says Isaac's disease. Is that where your dad tries to murder you? Yeah.
You know, I was thinking just that.
Different spelling, actually. It's ISAACS apostrophe. So it probably is a acronym.
Matthew says, "Yo, what's up, Matthew? Matthew, you're evil. The evil Matthew got his ass handed to him by Dr. Blitz today on Unapologetic. It was beautiful."
Oh no! What was his preferred method of suicide? Oh, his unalivement.
What?
Well, he went on. If he went on Unapologetic, obviously.
He was trying to talk science with Blitz and got demolished.
Oh, that's a terrible idea.
It was so bad. But also, it's nerves, so it's like it's an autoimmune reaction. Okay, voltage gauge potassium channels. Okay.
This is actually a good question. What does Thomas Aquinas say about child marriage? And I don't know, but I'll find out. I'll have to get back to you on that, though. I'm going to have to look into it for a second. Because the Summa Theologica, Summa Contra Gentiles, big works. The audience was begging to kick. Oh, Matthew? Yeah, begging to kick Matt Theorem. Everyone begs to kick when he gets on because he's the most insufferable little twat. LARPing as a scientist.
Is Matthew the one that comes on and...
Matthew Davis has got like mushroom hair. Looks like he got electrocuted. Yeah, he at one point they presented him a paper and then he said, I swear to God, he said to Dr. Blitz, let's put in a chat GPT and see what it says.
Yeah, he did do that.
Bella.
God, I'm gonna have to go watch that today.
I'm loving these W takes, Bella, in the comment section. Thank you so much. Let's see.
Is Matthew the one that's been going on different people's shows saying that he's mathematically disproven the idea of deep time?
I don't know. He says all kinds of bullshit. It's always something new with him.
He used a theorem that was like, or not even really a theorem, a hypothesis that was begging the question, where they essentially said that, oh God, I'm going to butcher this. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Because I'm not a mathematician and I do not understand this at all, that No, I'm not even going to try because I don't think I can do it. Go watch the Unapologetic live. It was like, it was an assumption of it because, yeah, I don't think I can. I'm not a mathematician. I don't understand cosmology. I don't understand physics to that degree.
Ooh, so it looks like here in the Summa Theologica, it looks like it's in the supplement to the Summa Theologiae, question 43, article 2. Thomas Aquinas presents the question whether 7 years is fittingly assigned as the age for betrothal, and the opposition takes the position no, while Thomas says, I answer that the age of 7 years is fixed reasonably enough by law for the contracting of betrothal.
Oh, you didn't know this about Aquinas?
No.
Oh, yeah. I learned about this in fact, so weird thing about me is I did take philosophy. I took very like introductory level courses, but my professor in college was a fucking priest, and he was creepy towards the young boys and or the young men at this point, really. But like They were boys. Yeah, and we talked about Aquinas in this stance.
Let's see. He accepted canon law standard that marriage ordinarily required puberty, traditionally understood as 12 for girls and 14 for boys. Ooh, L take for Thomas Aquinas. I can't believe he was my patron saint at one point when I was Catholic. Gross.
Well, it made a lot of sense about how weird my philosophy professor was.
Yeah, no kidding. They were talking about evidence the guy thinks supports the Kalam, but doesn't. BGV theory, I think. Yep, that's exactly what he was talking about.
Yeah, BGV theory, which is like where he's like adapting from mathematics that like the conclusion was accepted or assumed to fit the conclusion. It was circular argumentation, but I couldn't describe it off the top of my head.
If you hate
The
yourself,
guy that
you
was
can-
on Monkey Boys the other day and could not be bothered to shut up long enough for anyone to interact with him.
Yes, that accurately describes Matt Theorem. Yeah. I also have recently produced a drawing of Matt Theorem. Let me see if I can find it. You never take me to Bangladesh.
Y'all are fun. I need to drive, and I'm going to follow the rules like a good person.
Good. That's Christians. Let Brian be your example.
Nice to talk to you, Brian.
Where the hell did I put this drawing I did of Matt Theorem? Let me see. Papa Johnny is coming up. Papa Johnny, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation at hand.
All right.
Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
So fuck niggers, rape niggers.
That's a no. You're a child, and you can go fuck yourself. Have fun in hell if it does exist, and I kind of hope it does exist just so that you'll go there. And you're blocked. All right. Anyways, here's my drawing of Matt Theorem I made. Yeah, proud of this one. Anyways, Matthew tried to prove an eternal universe is geodesically incomplete by presupposing that it is.
Yeah, that I believe that was the argument. Butter.
Step foot in Greenwich, Connecticut, you're gonna perish. Wow. Well, it sounds like you don't have a good and their bio says God first. Job 22:28, John 4:4, Proverbs 31:34, warrior of God. Well, Rocco, I guess you're God. You're weak as fuck. Otherwise, you'd be able to actually present an actual argument instead of just like dragging your knuckles like the troglodyte that you are. I think you should be Christian because of me. Blaine, I'm never being able to become a Christian for any person. Wait, didn't they spell Greenwich wrong? I don't know. I don't know how that town is spelled over where they live. Dalton has heard every argument, can't accept any because of atheism. I can't accept any because all your arguments suck, Aiden.
Wait, Brianna asked about the 5 ways or the 5 causes of Aquinas.
The 5 ways are...
They're all arguments, yeah. They're all arguments that we discuss on this channel all the time.
Yeah, and they're a bit...
the first mover...
Yeah, they're also a bit repetitive. A lot of them are just
They
rehashing
are.
the same thing.
So the first mover and the unconscious cause are, like, to me, like, virtually the same thing. And I failed to see massive differentiation. Like, sure, we could, like, repackage it.
Hey, Rocco, you troglodyte.
It's the argument from design as well.
Why don't you call
I'm sorry.
in instead of acting like a complete buffoon in the comment section? Also, where did you get the idea that I was a 40-year-old man? I think that you just don't have any arguments for your God, so you just have to, like, throw your knuckles around. because you don't got no brains to actually debate the topic, and we can all see that. At Stephen Pierce with the $4.99. Love ya, Stephen. Love you too. Thank you so much for the $4.99. Let everyone know let everyone know that Rocco's a loser in the comment section for like being a violent ape of a man instead of actually like coming up to like talk about the topic at hand. Yeah, Matthew says, I'm in my 40s. God still doesn't exist.
I also never understood the argument from degrees or like gradation of perfection either from Aquinas's. I like never truly understood that because to me it feels like look at the trees, but it feels like it's repackaged as like the design argument. Like they feel really similar to me, and it feels like Christians have not come up with anything since Aquinas's 5. Not anything like that, at least from a mass audience perspective. Like there are obviously philosophical thinkers or scientists that could take me on a match any day. I don't claim to know all these things, but like they feel like they are just using these same arguments.
Look at this comment here. This is exemplary of like how mentally deficient a lot of these Christians are. I don't get how you can debate something so hard that you don't believe in. Well, Rocco, if I believed in it, I wouldn't be debating it. Debates are had when two people disagree about a proposition. If I agreed with the Christians, I wouldn't be debating the Christians. Now, would I? Like, think before you type, dude. Ultimately, this is just something Christians say because they don't want us to debate their religion, because us debating their religion is detrimental towards their religion because we're just so fucking good at what we do. Let's see. I think I was gifted, yeah, but because Dalton is awesome. Thank you. Can you be Christian just for me, please? Pretty please? No. Hard pass. I'm thinking your argument makes no sense, and I don't understand how you can say these Christians. Yeah, I grant that you don't understand. I grant that. That makes all the sense in the world, is that you don't understand jack shit.
Because be gay isn't good. If that sentence, I understand what you're trying to say, but the fact that you can't form a coherent sentence is so fucking telling.
Someone asked that they wanted to see my subreddits. No, my subreddits are not friendly for YouTube.
What do you mean? Just screenshot them for us, Dalton.
I use Reddit to watch porn, everyone. I cannot show you my Reddits on TikTok or YouTube. At Bible says you aren't debate. Bible says you aren't to debate or use philosophy to begin with. I mean, somewhat says that.
Yeah, but you should show what is it? 1 Peter
3:15.
The strength that the strength that is within you.
Always be ready to give a defense
for
the hope that is within you.
Yeah.
Paul debated.
Yeah.
Yep. Aiden and Paul debated, and he sucked at it.
Paul also did not always agree with Jesus, and y'all are Paul followers. Y'all every Christian that I have, if you're not a POS, I'm slightly chill with y'all being Paul followers in some accounts, not all, because Paul also has some L takes, but for the most part, I do really kind of okay, well, if you're going to be a Christian, at least be a Paul follower, for minus the hatred of the LGBTQI plus community. that take was L. But like other than that, if you just took Jesus's takes, you would take to the Torah, and the Torah is awful.
The Wild Child says gay can't reproduce and can lead to sad consequences. You know what else can't
The
reproduce?
fuck?
You want to know what else can't
No,
reproduce?
gay people can reproduce.
I mean, yeah, they can. If a gay man fucks a gay woman, they can reproduce.
I have had like several individuals in my life who were gay who like chose to reproduce, whether it was by like they just chose to conform to the heteronormativity of society, or just wanted to have children and chose a different pathway. It happens all the fucking time.
Also, if we're gonna talk about people who can't reproduce, you know who can't reproduce? Unfuckable Christian twats on the internet. These men cannot reproduce because no woman wants to touch them.
Wait, people with endometriosis or low sperm counts or any, like, does God hate them? Like, this is a weird argument because in that case, it would be that you should divorce someone who cannot have children, or you shouldn't marry them.
There's a
the argument fails.
There's probably a huge population of gay Christian fathers still married to women out there. Yeah, probably. Someone said, also this idiot said that being gay is self-hatred. It's only self-hatred if you grow up in a Christian household and you're taught to hate yourself. Otherwise, Pride Month's all about accepting who you are and loving yourself. You know what is hating yourself, though? Teaching the idea that that you were born in sin and that you're dirty and rotten and that you don't deserve any love in the world and that God is just having mercy on you. That's self-hatred.
There's so much that we can learn about ourselves, like reflecting on what society says about gay communities, or queer communities, or LGBTQIA+. Like, the fact is that there is no good reason to think that being a part of that community is immoral, except what a book told you. Because when we look at it, what is it doing to harm anyone? As long as it's consensual, what is wrong with it? Why is your God saying that this is wrong? And you've never thought for 2 seconds to question that. But you also have to defend slavery, misogyny, and a whole host of other things like genocide. Why is it that you're able to try to defend these things on a different level and also defending like this position that being gay is wrong?
Homophobia leads to very sad consequences. I agree, John Klein. So men in their 40s need to stop testosterone and Viagra. That's gender-affirming care.
Right?
Would you say war is genocide? Not always, but you know, when the Israelites wipe out a group of people because of their ethnicity, that is genocide. Here, Rocco, I'm muting you until you actually request to come up. Box up or shut up. Bob is coming up now. Bob, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, I am.
And what pronouns do you go by?
I go by he, him.
And are you a Christian?
No, I am not, but I do have one question for you.
What is it?
Please, please, please advocate for legal testosterone for underage men.
Legalize testosterone for underage men? Well, there aren't any underage men. There are underage boys.
Bullshit.
Nope, they're not men until they're at least 18.
Wait, what? Wait, why are we? Testosterone isn't illegal to prescribe to children if there's some sort of medical condition.
No, but it's illegal to prescribe to children if they just want to get big in the gym, and I see something wrong with that. Like, I'm all for the LGBTQ agenda, right?
That's not. There's no agenda. No agenda, but also
okay. So,
well, I don't mean
that's not a good enough reason to give them
yes,
testosterone.
It is. It's a perfect reason.
Nope.
If
Just tell
y'all,
them.
if y'all can do it,
Nope. Just tell them to work out. No need to give them testosterone.
Wait, are you trying to say that like trans individuals shouldn't exist unless we're consistent, like applying a consistent basis? The problem is that if an individual is experiencing such degree of harm psychologically that they need to have muscles that big, they're not analogous, right? When we talk about trans individuals and receiving, okay, then what are you talking about?
I'm purely saying I believe that if let's say a man feels like he's in the wrong body, he wants to become a female. I 100% am for that.
No,
I believe
wait. Who wants to become a female? That's not a thing.
What are you talking about? Yes, it is.
No, it's not. You don't understand what it means to be trans. That's the problem. You think
I
that,
understand what it means.
If you say that they want to become female, then no, you don't know what it means to be trans.
Then you're just completely wrong.
Wait a minute. Maybe we need to tell it. Do you think sex and gender are the same thing?
No, but that's why we have the term gender.
So in other words, they're not trying to become a different sex. They are a different gender, and they just like to express their gender.
They may do so by having
And they feel like they're in the wrong
phenotypical. Yeah, they may do so and try to change the phenotypical outcomes. Like they may change their genitalia or try to like put their own body into a phenotypical aspect that would match that. But it doesn't mean that they holistically accept that they are a different sex, because it's a very minority of the trans community, as far as I'm aware, that say that they're a different sex. It does happen.
I don't believe that they are. That's why we have the term cisgendered woman. But I'm not saying that. I'm
not
on the fact that if somebody feels like they're in the wrong body.
No, they don't actually think they're in the wrong body. You don't understand what trans people.
The analogy.
Yeah, they just trans people came up with that saying to try to help you understand what's going on, but they don't actually think they're in the wrong body. So maybe you should learn a bit more about what it means to be trans before you start making stupid claims about like cis boys need testosterone in order to get bulky. They can just work out.
No, they can't. There's people that purely just want to get big, and I feel like if you
then let them work out.
Okay, so if it is hey, are you talking about? Hold on. Are you talking about?
Why can other people?
We're talking about dysphoria, and we're talking about body dysphoria in a way that we're looking at what outcomes help, right? When we talk about the trans population, which is what I said before, we know that the suicidality decreases when we do gender affirming care. I don't know enough. I have not studied enough about gender dysphoria to understand whether cisgender individuals would benefit from this. Do you have any data to support why cisgender individuals should undergo this specific therapy? If so, please give me the data points.
Okay, so for instance, many young males under the age of 18.
Can you give me a study?
Study, Bob. She asked for a study. We absolutely can bring up studies.
Yeah, because I just understand. I have more education on the population of trans individuals than I do anything else, because it's just far less likely. And I'm someone who had bulimia. I had anorexia nervosa. I'm very familiar with a lot of this area. I'm just not seeing the same data points. But if you have one, just come provide one. Yeah. But testosterone is not a normal therapeutic. And I would actually agree that if it is the case that it would treat suicidality in cisgender individuals, that they should have testosterone.
All right, we're going to be taking on only one more guest, and then that will be the end of today's live. We got here Macaroni 2 times. Are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, sir.
And what pronouns do you go by?
Hello. Hello, what's the question?
What pronouns do you go by?
Hello.
What pronouns do you go by?
I am male. I'm he.
He. And are you a Christian?
He, him. No, I'm a spiritual being.
All right, we're only talking to Christians. Sky the Bop. Oh, I'm not bringing this person up. I got enough time.
They said they. Hold on, they said they had the study, I think, in the chat.
Well, we're not getting sidetracked on.
Hello.
Hello. I'm gonna ask you 3 questions. Are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
And what pronouns do you go by?
He, him. Wait. Yeah.
And are you a Christian?
Yes.
All right. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. This is Ashland. Why should we become Christian?
Because I went to twerk and I just like to fuck.
Sorry, didn't hear that.
Like,
Anyways, well, listen to that. If we get an actual Christian in here in the next 9 minutes, I will take the conversation. Otherwise, that'll be the end of the show. But apparently, Christianity sucks ass, and this is the best y'all can do is bring up trolls. There is no evidence, only worthless claims. That is true. Idens never brought us anything other than worthless claims. It's better to believe in God and die and to find out he's fake than the opposite. Disagreed. You're more than welcome to call him up and give the argument for that, though. There's also, you won't find out if I'm right. You will just cease to exist and you have wasted your one and only life sucking God's dick. Which is not great. These lies are really drying up. What's the deal? The deal is that a lot of these Christians are too afraid to come up and actually give real arguments for their position. That's the problem. Let's see. I have a child who will require HRT to go through puberty. Yep, and they deserve to have it. Ben says, you're an atheist? Yes. Gagging on God's girthy gourd. Put up Isaiah, plenty of prophecy. Nope. Jesus failed to fulfill even one prophecy in the book of Isaiah. Hey, Chris, how you doing? The big imaginary one in the sky. The big imaginary dung in the sky. Because they know deep down their faith is illogical. Yeah. Can I send you a video? Sure. Which prophecy did Jesus fail? Bringing world peace. Can Ashlyn give us her ontological moral reason for why pumpkin pie is better than sweet potato?
It's grounded in sugar. The types of sugars that are in each seem to be the case that it is grounded in these metaphysical aspects of sanctioned theology of the pies, and we have this spiritual grounding in which God chose one side, and I choose that side.
The world peace prophecy, Iden Aaron, is Isaiah chapter 2. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Yeah, the wild child, because you're too much of a pansy to actually... You won't come up and debate. You're just a keyboard warrior who's such a huge homophobe. Let's see.
Cyber, I hope you use this argument in the future.
Why do you hate yourself? Yeah, wild child. Why do you hate yourself, wild child? It's okay.
Wild thing.
Yeah.
I think.
It's exactly what I was thinking of.
Why don't you love me?
Here, Wild Child, I'm going to mute you again. The only way you get to run your mouth now is if you come up, because I've got 5 minutes before I end the show. So if you want to say some bullshit, you got to come up here and say it.
And by the way, we're gonna play Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna be happy after this. So if you don't come up right now and tell us why we should be sad as atheists.
Ashlyn just causes chaos wherever she goes, huh? Well, that's why we love her.
I am the chaos demon.
Read Isaiah 2:3. Law is coming from Zion. It is currently in dispute. Is there? Sorry, a half-assed prophecy is not fulfilled. You don't get to point to the first part of the prophecy and then ignore the fact that the latter half hasn't come to pass.
Aiden, have you ever considered that you might be wrong?
Aiden is, you know what the thing about Christians is, Ashlyn, is that
they don't consider that.
They don't consider that. They're in that valley of like, was it the Dunning-Kruger, where like they are super confident, but also super unintelligent, and they're, yeah.
Well, Kruger was about skill set, right? But I have proposed, and I got this from a TikTok video, that it's not this like statistical value where it like leans and it has this it just straight up for them.
They want to know what classes. They want to know what classes we're playing right now. So I'm a warlock, and Ashlyn is a wizard.
So I am an elf wizard, but like I let Dalton do a mod. It's against my religion, but I let Dalton do a mod. We're playing everyone in the game right now.
Well, our party.
We just suck at it.
We have
We suck.
We have an 8-person party as opposed to the normal 4-person party. But yeah, my character is a tiefling. When she's super hot, nice round plump booty, and a big juicy dong on the front.
Dalton only cares about my player being naked. By the way, he stole my underwear and
I stole all the characters' underwear. So at night, whenever we go to bed, we're all naked. It's like a nice naked sleepover.
That is hilarious. And real quick, there was somebody that Ashland was, and you guys are kind of calling up here, telling they had a few minutes. Look, if you recognize that Dalton and Ashland are already on top of the mountain of right, and you're just hanging out in the valley of wrong, then don't come out. But if you think that's reverse. If you think you're on the mountain of right, then just come up and defend your stance. And Ashland, you're continuing to lose the game.
My gnome looks weird being naked. I grant. Yeah.
I'm calling Cyber out for misogyny. You call it the woman. It's misogyny.
Well, I guess the Christians were too scared to come up and debate. All we got today was a Muslim, a Nazi, one good call from a deconstructing person, and at the last second, call me Kepler. We'll take this one guest, and that'll be the end of it. Are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah, I'm 29. How you doing?
And what pronouns do you go by?
Him.
And are you a Christian?
Yeah.
All right. Why should I be a Christian?
So if you and me were having a talk in person, right? And you were asking me this question, I would ask you, have you ever been a Christian before?
Yes.
Have you ever read the Bible? And these things I'm assuming you've already done, and you didn't find any concrete evidence, so you are going by logic, and that's why you're an atheist, right?
I'm going by of course I'm going by law. Are you saying that your religion is illogical?
And this is why I bring that up. As in my religion, right? You have to be 50-50. Let's be honest here. You got to rely on your faith, correct?
Yeah, but faith is what Muslims have also, or Hindus, and they come to all kinds of different conclusions. I actually care about what's true, and faith isn't a good mechanism for getting to the truth.
Wait, do you want us to sit there and just like believe everything that we hear?
Well, like let's just. I mean, if that's what we're saying, then What about when Jesus had the Last Supper and he told everybody what they would do?
Yeah. Do you
and they
want
all
us to
ended up doing
believe
it?
everything that we hear?
What do you? No, of course not. Be skeptical.
Okay.
Use
So
logic.
what?
Use reasoning.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you do agree with that we should use logic and reasoning, and that we shouldn't believe everything we hear. But
Right.
if I hear a Muslim or a Hindu or any other religion saying virtually the same things, why should I pick yours?
Well, let's be honest. The Quran came after Jesus.
And
This
the
is
New
a-
Then I
Testament.
should be Jewish.
Yeah, the New Testament came after the Tanakh.
Well, so here's the thing.
Why aren't you Jewish?
With the Jew, I mean, we basically are Jewish because the Jews and the Christians are one under the body of Christ.
Yeah,
When
but you're
Jesus
not
died,
really.
we all
But,
became
but you're
one.
not really Jewish, though. You don't observe
We're
the
not.
law of Moses. You don't do
Right.
the things that Jesus actually said, and you don't
Well,
actually
in the
believe the
Bible-
things that.
Wait,
the Hebrew
why am
Bible
I not
says.
Zoroastrian? Why don't I practice Zoroaster? Why don't you practice Zoroastrianism?
Yeah, it's older
Because
than
they-
Judaism.
Zionist Jews do not believe that Jesus
Well, no,
died.
but if we're going by what's oldest,
Zionism isn't the same thing, by the
Yeah.
way.
It's pretty
There are
close.
plenty of no.
Hinduism,
It's not.
Hinduism and Zoroastrianism is older than Judaism. So if we're going by what's the oldest religious text, then we should be Hindu.
No, I'm not too familiar with the Hindu religion, so I can't speak on that.
But you're
I've had to
making
down with them.
you're making an argument that's saying that
Well, you didn't let
which
me
is
finish the
older.
argument, but yeah.
Well,
I
that
didn't
was
say
the
that.
basis of your. Okay, so what is your claim then?
My claim is that the Jews prophesied that the Messiah would die, like that God would come
No.
as a man.
No, they don't.
No.
The
They
Hebrew
don't
Bible,
prophesy
no, Jesus didn't fulfill even one prophecy from the Hebrew Bible, and the Hebrew Bible never says that God will become a man and that the Messiah will suffer and die. Not once. It's my favorite subject to talk about.
Yeah. Do you have a book, chapter, verse that we?
Yeah, I
this
guess
claim?
we can go off of John 10:30.
That's in the New
That's
Testament.
not.
Old
yeah.
Testament. Prophecies are found in the old. Prophecies about the Messiah are found in the Old Testament.
So the New Testament is the claim, right?
Right.
Yeah, the Old Testament is the prophecy.
Right.
So, what prophecy in the Old Testament says God would become a human and that He would suffer and die for the sins of the world?
It says it.
We also can see when you leave the screen. So if you have to look it up, that's fine. But if you are gone too long, it will disconnect you. Just FYI.
Velvet Worm, do you think Ashlyn should get a Oculus Quest 3 so that we can all party up?
Of course, Velvet's gonna say yes.
I know, I asked a biased person. I asked the question I asked the question that I knew the answer to.
Okay, lawyer.
That's why I got the lawyer chair. Because I object. Pokey Garumi says just a second. Oh, okay. Welcome back, Call Me a Kepler. What prophecy do you got for
Sorry.
us?
So like Isaiah 52, and there's a couple other times in the Old Testament.
It's
but-
crazy that you say that because look what I had
Yeah,
pulled up
that's right.
already.
But 52. I think you mean 53.
Well, it starts in 52 verse 13. Now,
It
52,
does. Yeah.
52 verse 13 says, "My servant shall be highly exalted." Are you aware that this is not the first time that the servant is brought up in the
Right.
book of Isaiah?
Right.
Do you know that the servant is we're told specifically 6 times in the book of Isaiah that the servant is Israel?
Okay.
So it's not about Jesus.
Are you sure?
Yes. Also,
We can go through it if you'd like.
here's a little test for everyone. I give this test to everyone who brings up Isaiah 53. I'm going to give you 2 sentences, and I want you to tell me the difference between these 2 sentences. I went to the store versus I shall go to the store.
Okay.
What's the difference between these 2 sentences?
I see what you're saying. So one's going to be like futuristic and one is past tense, right?
Yes. Now, when I read Isaiah 53, and it describes the suffering of this servant, what tenses are being employed by the author to describe the suffering of the servant?
But he was wounded upon him with the punishment that made it. So he was wounded. So you're saying past tense, right?
Yes, as in when this author wrote this section of Isaiah, the suffering of the servant is something that already took place in the past.
I want to give Call Me kind of a little bit of a shout out here. You're being honest, and I really appreciate that, and we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for listening and being honest.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you guys my opinion. You know, like if we were going to talk in person, because my cousin's my best friend and he's an atheist. We have these talks all the time. I don't shove it down his throat. I respect what he views, and he respects what I view.
I promise you, all our family, it's more likely that atheists encounter Christians than Christians encounter atheists. Like, it is more of the case that Christians seem to not want to listen to atheists. So,
can I say one thing though before I go?
Sure.
Okay, so to my understanding, to be a Christian is to follow Jesus' footsteps and to be humble, turn the other cheek, all this, that, and the other. Right?
I don't like that.
I know, but hear me out. The reason I'm bringing that up is because if you are a true Christian, you're supposed to go to the ones that are furthest away from God, correct?
Yeah, but then I would just call to you about the fact that Jesus affirmed the Torah.
Jesus, if you really were like, when I was a Christian in high school, I came to the conclusion that if I wanted to be like Jesus, I needed to practice Judaism. You know, WWJD, what would Jesus do? And Jesus would, for example, not eat pork. He would keep the Sabbath day, wear tzitzit. And as a result of, and also Jesus explicitly told his
be misogynist.
Be a misogynist. Jesus explicitly commanded his followers to obey the law of Moses, but the law of Moses is not great.
There's a lot.
Do you think that you follow Paul rather than Jesus?
Of course, I follow Jesus, but I mean, Paul does play a big part in what you're supposed to live like.
But Paul and Jesus disagree.
About what?
Like the law. Jesus said, do not think that I've come to abolish the law or the prophets. I did not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. And then Paul said that Christ abolished the law in his flesh.
Yeah, Jesus and Paul do not agree if you read the text.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with that part. Like, the only reason I came on here is just to tell you guys why I was Christian and why I think you should be.
But, like, that's fine. Your personal anecdote, we've read the text, we've looked at the text. Like, if you sit there and have a valid reason, which would mean, like, evidence, but if it's something that's like, oh, I experienced him, or have some sort of, like, personal experience, so do Muslims, so do Hindus. It's not going to give us an ability to be able to track truth or truth tracking in any sort of way.
Yeah, you need the concrete proof. I understand.
Well, I don't necessarily need concrete
for logic,
proof.
you do. Logically, you would.
Sure, if that's what you're meaning by that phrase, then yeah. But in general, in order for me to believe something, I just have to be convinced of the proposition. I cannot be Christian if I'm not believing of it. Like, that's an impossibility. And it's not something that I choose. It's something that just, I either believe it or I don't. And sitting here having a dialogue about it and understanding the text where you don't even seem to understand that Paul and Jesus contradict. Do you think that I'm going to come to a conclusion based on the text?
Well, you know, humans make mistakes, and not everything in the Bible is going to be 100% correct, right?
That's even worse for your case.
Right, I know, but like we can all agree that that's a true thing, right?
Yeah,
the Bible contains contradictions. Yes.
And inaccuracies. So how else do I come to
by a man. So.
Yeah, how else do I come to this truth?
Well, and that's why I brought up the Jesus with the Last Supper thing. Is he told everybody what would happen, and these are the people saying this. You know,
here's
they're
the thing.
affirming it.
I don't think the Last Supper actually happened. I don't think that's a true story.
I bet you don't even think Jesus existed.
No, I think he existed. I just don't think that the Gospels are going to be able to accurately tell us what Jesus said and did, and I have reasons for that.
What about? Can I bring up 2 more points then?
Yeah.
Sure.
So what about Noah's flood, the great flood?
Didn't happen.
With the ark. You didn't think that happened?
No,
but
there's
then
there's not enough water in the entire world to flood the world to the tops of the tallest mountains.
Even if you did think that it was true, like, was it a good thing?
Well, it was to get rid of all the
babies,
the beasts of the world,
all the babies that died.
I don't know about that. I just know that it was to get rid of the beasts of the world and all
the people,
bad stuff that was going on, and the people. Yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff,
which would include
a lot
babies.
of murderers.
So this is something very personal to me. This is where I departed from Christianity. You think that your God murdered everyone on the planet along with all living beings, and he could still be good?
I don't think my God murdered them. I think what he did is he wiped away all the sin from the world
by
because
killing
we
all
all
the people.
die one day. Right.
So
but
if
we
it is
all
the
die
case
no matter
that
what.
murder is an unjust unaliving, right?
But if
and
he's
I don't.
the creator, it's above our heads. We wouldn't comprehend it.
You think that is so? Just because I made my daughter, could I wipe her out?
Can I give you a touchy thing here? My son died in my arms when he was 3 months old, right?
But you didn't do that.
But you didn't.
I
Kill
know.
him.
I understand. No.
Also,
well, I mean, I pulled the plug. I had
is
to
there
pull the
is there
plug.
ever a justified reason? Let's
That's
say
not what I'm saying.
Let's say a perfectly healthy baby. Ever a perfectly justified reason to kill them?
No, if you're. But here's the thing. I see what you're saying, and I agree with you. However, if there is a God, right? For you, if there is a God, wouldn't that be above our understanding of why these things are done?
It would still be unjustified.
It does talk, but it does talk in the Bible about.
Well,
the
no,
end
the
all
God
these
is
bad
the God.
things.
Wait, didn't we eat from the tree of discernment of right and wrong?
Yeah.
Don't we have within us the godly ability to discern between right and wrong? And so if I'm looking at this text and I think to myself, well, that seems wrong. That's a godly discernment quality that I'm possessing.
Right, but if that's the case, right, and the world was flooded, right, and on your guys' point, if that's the case, then it also talks about in the Bible that at the end of times, nations will rise against nations, kingdoms against kingdoms. There will be famine and drought and diseases. All these things will come about before the next time Jesus comes, right?
Yeah, what does this have to do with the fact that
So
God...
wouldn't that be the same thing?
Well, no, you're missing the point, Kami Kepler. The point that Rob Kavod is making here is that because according to the book of Genesis, we've participated in the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, therefore we have the knowledge of what is good and evil, that doesn't... That means Yahweh can do evil and we can recognize it because we have that knowledge. There's nothing that says that God is incapable of doing wrong things.
Well, do you think we're supposed to fear God?
No, in fact, God says that he creates light and darkness. He does all things.
Right.
Good and evil.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, even Moses is able to recognize when God's about to do something wrong and has to talk God out of it. God was going to wipe out the Israelites for their actions at Mount Sinai with the golden calf, and Moses pleads with God and begs, and then it says that God changed his mind concerning the evil he was going to do to his people.
By the way, your best argument here is something... Sorry.
Go ahead.
Your best argument here is... Oh, sorry, man.
No, go ahead, Rob.
I'm listening.
I'm just saying your best argument is something like God did something extremely evil to get rid of potentially even more evil. Like you have to acknowledge the evil of destroying the entire world. Like that, I think, somebody could have a conversation with, but sort of trying to say like, well, God's ways are above our ways. it's a cope. It's an override. You're completely
Well,
ignoring.
we just don't understand it, right?
What do you mean we don't understand it? It's
If
clear.
it were to be
Rav
true-
is giving you a really good
I
out.
understand. I understand what he's saying, but what I'm saying is, if there were a God, right? If
Then
there
we can-
were,
if there
because
was
you
a
guys don't
God,
believe,
if there was a God, we can see whether or not they do something that's evil or good.
that is right or wrong, right? That we get to use our will to say that that's evil, right? I see what you're saying.
You don't need will for that.
By the
But
way,
we're
why
in
does
the
it
flesh,
say?
though.
Why did it say that God gave the rainbow in the sky afterwards? Right?
Because he
It
promised
says
he'd never
literally-
flood the world again, right, or something like that.
Yeah, because it was a bad thing. It wasn't a good thing. Like God, like do you
Right.
think that God was like, this is a good thing that I'm going to destroy everything?
He tells us in Genesis that he regrets making humans.
Does he?
Yes.
What does he say? I don't know if I've heard of that. I've read
Genesis 6:6,
a few
and the
times.
Lord God, it says that in Genesis 6:6 that God regretted having made humans because of how evil they were. God has regrets because God is presented in the Hebrew Bible isn't this like perfect moral agent. He is fallible. He can do good things. He can do bad things. He can make mistakes. He can do good things. He can do evil things. And we're just saying that what God did in Noah's flood was evil. It's just sad that there was no one there. Like Noah wasn't like unlike Abraham and unlike Moses, Noah wasn't willing to call God out for doing the evil thing.
So what I think there's a divide here, call me, is that you've taken this storybook picture of what maybe your pastor has told you about the God of the Bible, and you've never actually sat down and read the book and evaluated the book. Unlike Rav above us, who is Jewish, and like their entire purpose is to like evaluate the Torah and the Tanakh, and like when you actually sit down and evaluate this text, and you come to this understanding, and you read it for what it says, either even in most English translations or just from the Hebrew understanding, you get to an entirely different understanding about who Yahweh or El Shaddai or Elohim, this God of the Bible, is. And you need to like evaluate the text itself.
Okay, can I bring up a point then of that? Let's say that there was someone on here more knowledgeable that knows all the Bibles top to bottom, right? Because there are people like that go on debate
The
shows.
host, and
well, no, I
Rav.
get that, but there are people that go on debate shows, and they will ice atheists. I know you guys have seen it, right?
Then where are these? Why aren't these people? Yeah, I would love to talk to these people.
Well, the only
because
reason I'm bringing
the majority of the Christians I talk to are biblically literate. I know more, and the reason I'm called the Bible guy is because generally speaking, I know more about the Bible than most Christians do. I know more about the Bible than most like these apologists who go on these shows
Even
do.
if that is the case, if you don't have the argument, you're not justified in the belief.
Well, we all have a will, right? I get to believe what I want. You get to believe what you want.
you have a
I
will,
don't
it's just
believe
not
what I
free.
want.
Yeah, that's not how that
I
works.
don't. Yeah, I believe what I'm convinced of, or I'm not convinced of, and I'm not saying that you like aren't convinced of this. I'm just saying like when I think about and I come to a further understanding of why I believe the things that I do, I need to have justification for it. And prior to understanding this method, sure, I believed everything on a whim, but it came to me later that like we need to have good reason for why we believe things.
I hate to cut you off on that. I never said that the reason I believe in the Bible is because I read it. That is partly true because yes, I've read some of the Bible. That's partly true of why I believe it. It's the fact that I was raised around the church and I've seen things. I've seen things that no one else would ever has ever seen. You know what I'm saying, right?
Muslims
Well, call me
believe
Kepler.
that.
I think you're just going to have to call in another day because we are 18 minutes over.
No worries, man. Yeah.
And I gotta eat. I gotta eat dinner. I'm hungry as fuck.
right.
But thank you for calling in. Come back with a reason why I should be a Christian.
Yeah, I tried, man. You guys have a good day.
Also, believing a book without reading it is really weird.
Well, it's the.
Let's not get him. Let's not get him going. We don't need to carry out the conversation any longer. But call me Kepler.
You guys have a great day.
Yeah, call me on it. Yeah. Ralph Kabod, you always seem to get here as the show is about to end.
I know.
But I'm glad that you were here though, for the moment that you were here. Cope fan, you're wrong. Gays are right, you're wrong. Let's see, what was I gonna say? Who is live right now that I can send you crazy kids off to?
Can I just call attention briefly to the Daughters of Zelophehad as like the greatest demonstration of God's absolute non-omniscience?
Yeah.
Mama Bash is live, by the way.
Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
Well, just that these women's father died, and there are no sons to inherit the property that that would be absorbed into the tribe of Manasseh. And they approach Moses and say, "What gives? What's going to happen to our tent that we're living in? You know, basically, like, what's going to happen to our property?" And Moses takes the matter to God, and God says, "Oh yeah, they're right. And by the way, if there's no one after them, then you should give it to the next of kin, going as far out as possible. Like, find somebody related to them so that the property can stay to the family." And then, at the end of the book of Numbers, the matter is brought up again, because what happens if they marry outside of the tribe? And that's rectified as well. Meaning, in two instances regarding the same law, God is not aware of the implications of the limitations of that law, of inheritance law. And by the way, this law is often cited as a justification for like Jesus being adopted, which is hilarious because it completely undermines it when you consider that that they needed to marry within the same tribe and did not receive tribal status in the next generation. Anyway, that's all I want to say.
That's a good example, actually. That's a really good example.
Everyone, I'm going to send you all over to Mamba Bash's live. Let them know that the Bible guy sent you. And with that, I've been the Bible guy. Remember to keep reading, keep learning, and we'll see you all again on Tuesday. Bye, everyone.
Born from dust and questioning fire, wielding truth like a sword of desire. Ancient scrolls and cosmic flame, he tears through myth, he breaks the chain. Echoes of prophets, the scars align, knowledge and thunder